After years of barrel-flinging mayhem, Donkey Kong quit the jungle scene to open a therapy clinic for traumatized plumbers, only to realize he needed it more than they did. He should have just put a couple of bucks toward patreon.com/core show and solve all his weird ape issues at once.
Shoot outside the screen. Congratulations!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Core. Yes, that's right. 1 week and 1 day later, we're back for Core. I'm Scott Johnson with Beau Schwartz and John Jagger. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. I was in Vegas. I was in Las Vegas for a whole week, having a great time with the TMS Vegas crew. Lots of Core fans at this thing. People talking and asking about Core. How's John doing? Hey, I got a beef with Beau on this point or that point, or, you know.
I like that those are the questions. How's John doing? Like I'm on death's door and I have a beef with Beau.
Most of it was,
that old Jim.
Most of it was, what was it? Oh, it was people have some beef with Beau's take on the remake or the remaster thing of Oblivion, and they were mostly just sort of like, oh man,
what take that it was just a dick move to release it before Clair Obscur.
Yes, they think that was a dick move, or they think you made a dick move.
Thinking that made me like a bad person or something.
That they love you. They say, man, I love your dynamic. That's the one thing I heard the most this week is everyone just loves the 3-man dynamic that we have on the show. Three white men.
Sorry to interrupt, but I don't have a giant. Oh, it's a hair. Okay.
Yeah, this is the dynamic they love.
Yeah, this is what they want. They want to see Beau check his hair.
I thought I had a huge scratch on my head. Look, I've got a cat.
They want to hear Scott's professionalism and Beau's. Is there a hair?
Is there a hair? What's going on?
Honestly, I'm the one who should be shocked if I find a hair on my head.
That's true.
But I thought it was a scratch because I now have a cat now. I get mysterious scratches show up, and I'm like, oh yeah, the cat scratched me.
Is it the kind of cat?
I thought I saw one across my forehead, and I'm like, I do not remember getting swatted on the forehead. And the only reason it comes up now is I don't spend time looking in the mirror. The time we have on the show where I have a camera that is on me is like the most, oh shit, I can check to see if something's going on my, like I could have a wart in my face.
Sure.
I wouldn't know until I did the show.
Sure. And we wouldn't,
sorry,
we wouldn't
the interruption, you required explanation.
No, it's cool. Is it the kind of cat that'll attack your head when you're playing or petting it or whatever? No?
No, but like he's kind of like a dog. Like if it wasn't a cat, and if it wasn't a bad idea to train him that way.
Yeah.
He likes when I just take my hand and I shake him. Oh. And he wants to wrestle and bite. And then it's like, ow, your teeth are sharp.
Yeah.
Ow, your claws are sharp.
Yeah.
I asked my sister, I'm like, can I get like a baseball glove and wrestle with him? Because he seems to like just, wrestling. And she was saying it just kind of reinforces that behavior and it's not really great for cats.
Sure.
Know? So
no, I completely understand.
You play with a stick or with a toy or something like that, but not with your, like, you can't do the wrestling with a cat, even though he's totally down for some WWE, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like, yeah. It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He would actually be like the most fun cat ever.
Yeah.
In that he'll like roughhouse like a dog. But
well, as long as he's not treating you as his permanent scratching post, everything will be okay, you know?
No, just the chair I sit in when he wants my attention. And then I'm like, stop scratching the chair. Ah!
By the way, I speaking of weird stuff like that, I saw a guy who had a cat with him. The cat just laid there, didn't do anything, but he
brought a cat to Vegas.
Yeah, he was in one of those little performance circles on Fremont Street, which are basically the area you can like put a bucket out for money and then perform or do puppets or paint or whatever you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
And there's always something weird. There's topless nuns, there's like guys in gorilla suits, like there's just the weirdest stuff down there. And on our last day, there's a dude who's sitting there. He had a cat in a little cradle thing, like a little warm cat bed. A bottle of water, a bucket to put money in, but he just stood there with a shirt cut with holes cut out where his chest is, kind of like the people eater from Fury Road, that guy with the big club foot, and just sat there and pinched his nipples as people walked by. He's just pinching his nipples.
That was the show.
Did
he make any money? Because
I mean, his bucket had cash in it, like a little bit of money, 20s, 10s, 5s, yeah. So I mean,
low on ideas, right?
yeah. I mean, there were a few of those. There was a guy that had a bottle that just had a sign under it that said "My shit," and then he just sat there with this thing that said "My shit" on it. And
wow,
yeah, it really.
And here I thought I had no marketable skills. Turns out in Vegas, I've got skills for days.
At least two. You know, we could combine those. Have a little thing that says "My shit" and then pinch your nipples for 6 hours.
Well, and then on the resume, you say performed in Vegas.
Yeah, there you go. And then before you know it, you're working the Luxor in the main room. And everybody's there to see the Jagger off, or whatever you're going to call it.
Jagger off.
The Jagger off. Well, anyway, we are here to do a few things today. One of them, obviously, is to talk about the news and the games we played, for those who played them, and other stuff this week. But I wanted to just pour one out auditorially and video-y here for our pals over at our contemporaries, our peers over at Polygon and Giant Bomb, and anyone else affected by the big old freaking fart dump that happened this week with sell-offs. In Polygon's case, they got sold from Vox Media to, I forget the name of the thing that got sold to, but in that process, they laid off 100 freaking people. I don't know why you buy something like that and not see the people as your product. It's weird to me that the people aren't part of the buy, because is there a Polygon.com? And regardless if you really like Polygon's coverage or not, they're one of the bigger ones, and there's no coverage without people. So what did you buy exactly? The name Polygon.com?
The name, yeah, I don't know. It's even weirder with Giant Bomb, because that has been a personality-driven website since its inception.
Yeah. Well, ever since CBS bought it or whatever, it's been passed around and got weirder.
The main people leave already, and that's sort of like
it's had a lot of turnover.
Yeah. And they've all had stuff to say this week about it, and it's all very interesting. But there's a lesson in this, and I think the lesson is don't
get bought by fandom.
don't get bought by fandom. Fandom sucks. Stay away. But also just don't. If you're a content creator, I've had to think a lot about this. I get questions about it all the time. Like, I have family that go, dude, what you ought to do, get investors now, and then you grow this, do that. Then you double in size by the time June rolls around. It's always have these ideas about how to blow things up. And in the back of my mind, I'm always like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to end up having this happen. Even if I'm not, even if it's sold off and I'm gone. Let's say Frog Pants just goes somewhere and I'm not there anymore, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. Let's just say that was possible. The idea that it could get just totally mishandled, fumbled, and then just turn into nothing at some point is the most depressing idea I've ever heard. So no thanks. I'll stay here.
Willing to give us each a cool mill. Then we'll be like,
sure. Then we'll talk. Then we'll talk for sure.
They actually want to give us what we're worth, you know.
Now that said, the Jaggeroff brand, which I will say has performed in Las Vegas or plans to, is for sale, and I will entertain any offer.
Sure. Well, keep bottling.
Jaggeroff brand.
Keep.
Scott's like, I never want to sell out. Both John and I are like, a million sounds great.
The sooner we sell out, probably the better.
Start saving those bottles of your own excrement and get.
But I mean, it'd have to be like a ludicrous amount of money, like, because the reason it would be a ludicrous amount of money is because of this exact outcome. That's why you need, because then I would want to go. That's your plan B. Like, all right, well, you want to fire me now? Okay.
Yeah, and then I would go do something else, and I'd start over and do something cool with that money.
We might have a clause saying we can't do leave and just do another video game podcast. So we'll get into bird watching.
All right, sweet. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'll watch.
We'll call
birds.
it. Yeah. We'll call it.
Boar. We'll call it Boar. Well, it's like core, but with a B.
Boar.
Yeah. It's boring now.
It's our fishing and bird watching podcast.
Yeah.
It's just the idea that you'd even call a show like Boar. Like, it's just, who's like, I got to check out Boar. This sounds exciting. It's going to be so not boring.
I wore my core. You remember the Jackins 2018 they gave us at Blizzard for the core show when it was still a Heroes show, and it had all the Heroes shit on there, and then on the side they embroidered core on there.
Yeah, what a lovely thing they did.
It was so nice, and I wore that this week, and a whole bunch of people, in particular Monica, who was there, came up to me and got, almost teary about it, like looking at it going, oh, that game. I still love that game. Why did they let it languish? And I said, well, that's on Game Pass. They're like, we know that doesn't really matter, though, does it? It doesn't really matter.
It's not the same. No, I mean, the treatment of it's not been the same.
No. They need to
that
be behind
era
it.
of we're building families and we're the family living room. And we're building the living room. We're the Blizzard that's building the living room for families to meet in.
Mm-hmm.
It's still to some extent there, but that era is over.
Good news, though. They're making another MMO. We'll get to that in the news. Not yet, though.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you don't know about this, John.
No,
John,
not MMO,
shit.
MOBA.
I'm sorry, MOBA, not MMO.
MOBA.
I come to CORE for the news.
Oops.
What do you all come here for? Oh, wait a minute.
Definitely MOBA is what I meant to say. And John, you would think would be a guy that would go, Blizzard's making another MOBA. Okay. He's not very excited about this tournament events.
Imagine this.
Yeah, it's going to shock you all when we get there.
We'll get to it. Yeah. Oh, boy, if you want to, hey, AI, can you write an article that'll make John angry?
Yeah,
I sure can.
I had my week last week. Now we're going to make Blizzard and Overwatch fans mad.
Yep,
So
it's going to happen.
John, your turn.
I might be the most open-minded about this one, but I also feel the pain. We'll get to it in a minute.
We know.
How? How?
I don't actually know why I feel this way. I have well, we'll get to it. All right, everyone, save your consternation.
We got to do some other stuff before we can talk about it.
Yeah, in particular this.
Things.
I got up in front of everybody at TMS Vegas, a live event. All right, had a whole show. We had tons of people there. We had a concert after. Did all our fun stuff we always do every year. And I got up on Wednesday night at about 9 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. And it doesn't matter the time. I don't know why that matters. I'm not bringing that up again. I stood up and I said,
it's important.
Guess what, everybody? And they were all like riveted and listening. We're bringing it. I'm not saying we're bringing it back for a 10-year run, but Nerdtacular 2026 is happening next year.
Hell yes.
That's right. And you know who you're going to see there? Everybody. So imagine like if you're a TMS fan, you came to TMS Vegas, that's one thing. It's all like the hardcore TMS crew, but there's always listeners of everything else. Now we're talking blow it out. Core fans, Play Retro fans, Film Sack fans, the Monday Show fans, Skim fans, all the other shows on the network. People are going to, The Instance, all of it. They're going to shit themselves and all come flooding here. I have no other details to share on dates yet or venue. That's all what we're working on right now. But next year, probably around this time of year, there will be a Nerdtacular 2026. And I'm so excited. And I will have Beau and John with us. If it kills me, if it murders my soul, I will have them physically there. That's the goal.
So a few comments. If you're shitting yourself before coming over, please clean first. There's enough con crud as it is. We don't need self-shitting.
Sure.
Unless you're a lake runner, in which case you're already clean.
Yeah, and we have lakes. We have a salt lake. You can go take a dump in that. Yeah.
Because you're in the lake, it's all washed off, kind of.
Sure.
Not really.
Not really.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
Secondly, I can't remember the secondly.
I know what it is. There's going to be a.
Remember it, everybody.
There'll be a huge tariff on Beau's body to move him here. But we're apparently, so we had an election last week, and Mark Carney is our prime minister. He's going to be meeting Trump, and if he could tell Trump to chill the fuck out, sorry, so that Canadians don't have to worry about getting deported to El Salvador when they visit your country, or being turned into a 51st state, then hopefully we can. Yeah, I figure we got a year to work to suss all that out.
Goes well in repairing our relationship.
Sure, because all the people are ready. It's just those dipshits at the top. Let them worry. And your guy isn't a dipshit. Our guy is a...
I'm not... Yeah, like I have zero problem with Americans. I love America. It's just whatever the hell ketamine they're doing in the White House, it must be good.
It's the best stuff. It's the best stuff. Yeah, the stuff that really gets you. It's the stuff they had to intervene in Steve-O's life with when they did an intervention because he was doing some serious ketamine. And if that doesn't tell you... If a guy who pumps vodka directly into his veins with an IV can change, so can we. All right, that's the lesson there today. Does anyone else know that about Steve-O? He put 5 ounces of straight vodka into his veins once. Almost killed him.
That somehow does not surprise me.
But it's really dumb, right? Like it's really
horrible to do.
Yeah.
It's like science you didn't need. It's like what happens if I drive a nail through my eye? Will I still have an eyeball? Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out together as we try it now. All right, here's this. Anyway, more details on that later. I'll make sure everybody on Core knows what's going on there. We'd love to see a bunch of you there.
I will go. I will find a way to go.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen.
Barring the most insane things that can happen.
Yep.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you're going. And Beau, I know it's it's weird right now, but you're going. I'm making it happen. VIP status. You're coming. That's the deal.
Scott will get elected and change policy if he has to.
Yeah. How you like that?
Governor of Utah.
Yeah. Get that Cox guy out of there. Put me in. Let's go. Anyway, more on that later.
Then you'll be in a big controversy. This just in. Scott Johnson, governor of Utah, bringing in undocumented migrants, and it's a picture of me.
Yep.
Look at this degenerate Canadian he brought into the country.
He becomes the poster boy for dangerous Canadians.
I mean, if that's the most dangerous you guys can send us, we're definitely climbing up the wrong tree when it comes to deporting any of you. So I think our furry friend Beau will be just fine. All right. You guys ready to pay more for Xbox stuff? And I don't mean just like, tariffable items. You're about to pay a lot more for a lot of things. And apparently this is just going to happen, regardless of whether tariffs stick or go away or whatever. I suppose they could change course and lower some prices, but here's the deal. Due to tariff pressures and other things, Microsoft has announced significant global price increases for its Xbox consoles, that is the Series X and S, the games themselves, accessories, so on. This includes headphones, controllers, all that kind of stuff, effective May 1st, that is to say yesterday. So they gave us really no warning on this. It was like out of nowhere. Very quick.
Surprise! Hope you didn't just hit the goal on saving up money for any of this.
Yeah, because some of this stuff,
that would suck.
Some of this is high. Some of it's high too. Like a Series X, currently $499, $100 increase, $599.99. That's kind of a lot, all at once. This is usually the time in a console's lifespan where they start putting out slim, cheaper models. Not this time. They're just charging more. Yeah. Series S, the 512 model is $299.99 currently. That is now $379.99. The 2 terabyte Series X Special Edition, $729.99. It's an expensive $800 console. Good Lord.
Are we getting a Pro, like a Series Z or something like that?
Not from them.
I guess if they needed to round out with a new model, it'd be Series E.
Yeah, Series. If they keep doing this stupid naming convention.
The letters spell out sex.
My guess is, I see where you went with that. I like that. Mm. Yeah, the sex consoles.
Yeah, the Series S, the Series X, and the Series E. Yeah, kind of a weird order to do it in, but
I'd have to have a position on the sex consoles. Do you get it?
I got it.
Okay, just making sure. Anyway, the controllers, this is a stinker. Standard models are now up to $64.99. I think they were about $10 less than that. I don't have the old ones here. The Elite Series 2, which is the current Elite models, up to $299.
I'd say just get an 8-bit due, but they're not shipping here anymore.
Yeah, they're temporarily holding off and their stock's still in the States, but they're not shipping new stuff.
No new stock.
Which
means they could drive up the price too, because if there's demand. But
yeah,
that sucks. We were just saying how awesome 8-bit do was.
Yeah, I hope everybody who got excited about us talking about the controller and bought one, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
If there's ever a company,
they're going to be hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to take affiliate links for and get paid from. I'm like, 8-bit do. They're all right.
They're awesome. Yeah,
let's do it.
Love those guys. I have so many other controllers. It's disgusting. Ambernick too. They're doing the same thing. They also have controllers now, but they're doing it because they're mostly doing it with their handheld consoles, and they're the hot number in terms of those things. So there's still stock. There's still stuff. Amazon started showing the differences to people. The administration does not like this. But Amazon's basically going, well, this was 30, you'll now pay 38 or whatever, and then they put it in line with the pricing, which I really like that. I appreciate that. I want to know what the increases are. Hiding it just means you're hiding it, so don't hide it. I can do my own math, and I know when you're hiding shit, so don't hide shit. Headsets now priced at $119.99. You could get them as low as $99 before. And first-party games, so stuff coming from Xbox Studios, and that includes your Call of Duties, your future Blizzard releases, anything they own now. $79.99 during the 2025 holiday season. That's where those price rises will happen.
But let's be real. If it works, this price is sticking.
Yeah, if that works, 80. You thought Nintendo was the big jerk here? They're the bigger jerk.
No, I still think Nintendo's the jerk here because let me tell you why.
Okay.
I'm not saying that this is okay. Let me be clear that while I am about to give Xbox a little bit of a pass, is not me saying it's okay. It's like me saying someone ran over somebody twice versus once.
Right. Which is not okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Neither one is okay.
Yeah.
But there is no backdoor to getting cheaper Nintendo games. Yeah. And they were the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
They're the first ones to do it. There's no way, if you want, well, you can buy the bundle for Mario Kart, but if you want Donkey Kong, we discovered destructible technology, Kong, you're going to pay a lot of money for that. There's no alternative.
Yeah.
With Xbox, if you like enough of their games, if you go, there is enough stuff here to justify it, you can sign up for Game Pass and you can get the games cheaper.
Yeah, they're counting on that.
There is a way around it.
Yeah. They're literally, I think that's the thing here. I think this is what they're doing. They're saying, they're hedging their bets and saying, okay, we can react to these changing conditions. We can raise prices, even if it's just something we wanted to do for years. The market is doing similar things, so we can get away with all of this because we can turn around and say, by the way, Game Pass is still there. It isn't going up, and it's on all your stuff. And why wouldn't you do that anyway? Because first-party games will be there. And like this is almost like a boon for the service, even though I don't like how they're getting there.
Yeah. Again, it's not okay. Folks, give you a free tip. So, hi, John here.
Hi.
It's a free tip.
Oh, John with a free tip.
You don't have to pay me $80 for this. Here's a free one.
All right.
Don't spend $80 for a base level video game.
Yeah, don't do it.
Just don't. Go buy something else.
Yeah. That will teach
if you
them.
can. If you are absolutely, you gotta have it. Do what you got to do. Just don't do it.
Yeah. I will be purposely avoiding $80 games out of principle, but I will be using Game Pass to play the games I would have otherwise had to pay for that way. So, whatever you got to do, you got to do it. I feel like
here's a good test I thought of because here's one that's coming up really soon. We're going to talk about it on this show shortly.
Yeah.
What is the cost of Doom: The Dark Ages on Steam right now?
For pre-order?
It is $70.
Okay, so and then the word is that these will not go up until the holiday season. So that may go up to 80 during the holidays. But right now it will stay at the 69, which I already felt was fair, but whatever.
But see, they also have a $100 version. But again, when we talk about why it doesn't matter that video game costs haven't gone up because of inflation and why I don't respect that argument when people are like, it's fine that they're charging more money because video games have been this amount for blah, 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 blah. It's because there's a $100 premium version and they've been doing that forever. Games have been $100 for a long time if you buy these premium versions. And if we're going to be okay with that, then they need to keep video game prices the same, or they need to just put all this premium edition bullshit in the baseline game. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
So
confession,
they're doing both.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit of both.
Go ahead, Beau.
Go ahead, Beau. What's that?
I pre-purchased Doom Premium Edition.
Well, that's good because you'll get it cheaper because you pre-purchased it. You'll save money.
Yeah.
You get the campaign DLC with it. So that was the push me over the edge.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and you'll spend less is the point. So that's good. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, right now I would be. See, this is where I would switch seats because I would usually say never pre-order shit. Get it the day it comes out or the night before. Like who cares? But now, in this case, and also just with some of this hovering around, I'd say if there's an $80 looming game in the fall that you can right now get for $69 or something even lower, do it. Do it now. Like pre-order it now because they have to hold it. They can't. Like,
so you think there's going to be a big price rise at some point this year?
Yes, that's what they're saying there will be. So I think if you're looking at current,
you realize like you guys are saying like it's Doom is $70. It's $90 for Canadian.
well, yeah, it's already more
And
there.
it's gonna go up even more. Awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
By the way, the headsets are only going up in Canada and the US. They're not going up everywhere else. Not that we're in the market for headsets, but you know what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy.
Like the Razer headsets and all that.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft's headsets. There's in particular. Okay, here's what they say.
I guess this it's gonna be expensive.
Here's the quote they gave. It says, "We understand that these changes are challenging and they are made with careful consideration given market conditions and the rising cost of development. Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen and ensuring value for Xbox players." That to me is code for you're all going to be doing Game Pass.
Suck it up, doofuses, is what they basically wrote.
Yep.
You know, here's my philosophy in general. Beau just pre-ordered a game. I'm not judging him. He really likes Doom. That's fine.
It's
But
10 days pre-order.
Personally, I do not want to have to pay the price for a company's inability to properly understand the market and invest properly, or the shareholders' ability to support the video game industry. That should not be on me.
It's not.
It's not my job to fix their shit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to.
It's the only shit they're fixing is maintaining profitability anyway. They could take a hit.
Yes.
They could afford the hit, but they won't. And that is not John's fault. And that is not my fault. It's not Beau's fault. It's nobody's effing fault. So I think they should just have to eat it. I really do. And if they come back and go, oh, sorry, Game Pass is now $34 a month or whatever, we're going to have a real talk, me and Phil Spencer. We're going to
that'll be an easy unsubscribe, because there have been games on that we've talked about. This has been a really good month, a couple months for Game Pass. A lot of things. I bought a lot of these games. Because I was like, I want them. Like, turns out I still buy games I really want, and I tend to only play the games I really want on Game Pass, so I'm not buying that much on Game Pass.
You have to buy games because they leave Game Pass.
Well, not the first party stuff. The Microsoft stuff will always
not
be
not all of them, but plenty of games leave Game Pass. And if you want to like persist your save and stuff,
Yeah.
You might as well just buy it. Like that's sort of my thing.
Yeah,
so I'm not attached to my Game Pass subscription. This isn't Netflix. I'm not going to have the baby re-sign me up and go, what are you going to do? I probably want this subscription anyway. No, that sucker's getting canceled. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy walk away from.
Yeah. Not hard to kiss that right in the ass and say goodbye to it.
Like I said last week, I'm my own Game Pass.
Damn straight you are. You got to start charging people to get on your family plan.
Yeah, if I could share my account, I've got hundreds of games, guys. Let me just rent them out to other people.
Sure, I'm sure that's part of the end user license agreement we all signed.
I'm sure Gabe will be cool with that. Yeah.
By the way, I got a great new use for not generative AI, LLMs, like large language model AI, like GPT, stuff like that. You take the bulk of an end user license agreement you agreed to with whoever, EA or whatever, one of those nightmare long ones. You don't know what you're really signing. You just want to get down to the bottom and hit A, right? Take that, copy it out, paste it into GPT, and just say, sum this up in a real short paragraph or some bullet points. What am I agreeing to? It's amazing because it'll poop it right out immediately, and you will see exactly what you committed to in very short form. And it turns out most of them aren't that bad. They're pretty boilerplate, and it's mostly like, you're not going to dress up like this bad guy and kill real people in real life. It's a lot of that stuff, like just like liability things. And then it's a good way to tell if other ones are bad. So it's actually, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I think AI, LLMs in particular, are great for us finally being able to understand what the F they're making us sign all the time. It's great. So try it. Yeah.
Have they solved the hallucinating part?
A lot of it. I mean, basically, this isn't you asking it a question and it formulating it. It's taking actual content and in real time dumbing it down for you, like making it understandable.
I guess just like what's the like, if you were to run 500 EULAs, what's the error rate on?
I mean, it'd be interesting to find out, but I think it's probably, if not zero, close to it, because it's not the same as going, trying to trick it with a bunch of questions. It's just saying
what if there was something important, but the robot feels like it's not that important to mention.
Yeah, I mean, I always wonder that, right? Because who owns
Like,
it? What's their motives?
Like if you got a lawyer to read your EULAs, maybe you'd expect for the money for him to bring up the stuff that'd be like, oh, you got to look at this and look at this. These are the important things.
Mm-hmm.
The robot is probably just. What I'm saying is, it's nice of you to trust the robot.
Yeah, I don't.
Sure, but what would you rather trust? A robot that summed it up, or just hitting "I accept" without reading?
Yeah, that's my point.
Because we both know you're not going to read it.
You would rather hit "I accept" and not really know what the hell you just said yes to than.
Well, I mean, that's what I've been doing for 30 years.
Yeah, but to me, it's like using a calculator to do a quick bit of math, and that's because this is the equivalent of that.
I'm making jokes. I'm not. If we're being serious, if I know the accuracy is good, but I don't trust it to be accurate right now. So I wouldn't.
That's a fair point. I mean, there's a lot of weird shit.
I don't put too much stock in it. I'm not going to poo-poo it. Like, okay, if you want to do that, it's great, but I wouldn't bet my life on it being right.
All right, LLM experts. We got some listeners out there that are experts. Tell us how far off. Either where are we in the trust meter these days for what I described? Because I'd be curious. I mean, maybe it's a complete waste of time to do that, and it's just making shit up for all I know.
I mean, it's not super important. It's EULA. Most people do scroll through and click accept, but like, we're one step away now from like, oh, here's a prenup. I don't need to read it. Or here's a contract to buy my house. I don't need to read the contract. AI, do it for me.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Not a great habit to be in, I suppose, is my thinking.
It's pretty good at taking our show transcript and summing it up in 500 characters, and it gets it right.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when
it's
it comes
like
to
that.
Like doing SEO,
It's basically that.
I mean,
that's all you're asking it to do. Now, whether or not some of the things you agree to have far-reaching problems, like one of the things you agreed to is you'll never wear a hat with Mario's name on it in the history of your life and not know that you could be arrested for such a thing. This is an extreme example, but if you did that, then and this thing just sort of treated it lightly and just said you can't wear a Mario hat. I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know where. I don't know what the lines are.
Impress upon you how severe the consequences would be, right? Like, oh, it just said not wear a Mario hat. Like, whatever, I'll wear a Mario hat. It didn't say the part where you'll be put in a firing line and you know, if found guilty.
Yeah.
And the conviction rate is like 99%. Like there's important. Like EULA is like not the end of the world or anything like that. We've agreed to plenty of them without reading. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's got to earn, I think, our trust to be using it, and also if it's not coming from you and it's free, well, it's got someone else's agenda attached to it. So
it's weird. I trust it more because I understand the underlying tech more. I trust it more than I did when I handed my mortgage papers to a guy who when that mortgage guy handed me my papers and said, "Here's this thick freaking thing, this thick. No big deal. It just says this," and he tells me like one sentence. So go ahead and sign 50 papers as if that's all it's about is this one little thing. And the whole time I'm thinking, well, why isn't it just one little sentence then that I'm signing to? What do you mean that's all it means? It must mean more if it's 400 miles of paper. I trust that less than I do this. I would rather shove my mortgage information before I sign it in for buying a new house or something into a system like this and have it poop out the summaries than I would a dude doing
You're
that.
right not to trust him too. Like, so I dated a lawyer for a long time, so I have a different perspective on these things. You probably should just read it. Like, if you're paying someone to make an important decision for you, hope you trust them.
What was
the best you can do?
How'd that go? Did it work out? Did you get? Well, obviously you're not with him anymore. But what happened?
Well, I'm not. But it's just you learn things, you pick up things, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just. And they were studying, so a lot of stuff and ideas were bounced off me. And you learn to appreciate. There's a lot of stuff you take for granted if you're not a lawyer, I suppose, and you're just like, oh, this stuff's supposed to work, and it's like But
did you ever have a time where you went, let's do Italian?
You should know the law. Like it's like you're paying them for convenience, but it's not like it's not like you're ever in a position where it's the ideal that you don't know the laws of the country you live in.
All right. Now, what did you ever have a night where you said, let's have Italian, and your girlfriend said, objection, and you said,
overruled.
No, but we would have Italian, and
you're out of order.
Yeah.
She also enjoyed watching
strike it from the record.
like junk court shows like Judge Judy and People's Court and stuff like that. And then in watching it together, she'd explain like, stuff like what was I can't remember the term, but like balance of probability, right? Like in those courts, they don't have to like figure out with evidence. You can, in the civil court, you can just be like, seems like you're shitty, you're gonna pay.
Yeah.
And that's like good enough. Like
Sure.
so that, just terms, things like that, etc. But like when it comes to like your agreements or stuff like that, it's personal responsibility. Like you can pay a lawyer, you can pay anybody to do something for you, and they're only going to be as good as they're going to be.
Sure.
So that's why that's why it's like it's good to have a trusted people in your corner or whatever.
Sure.
So.
Always have people you trust to sum this thing up. Yeah.
Having the AI in your corner.
Yeah.
It might do a summary very effectively, but I wouldn't lean on anything important. That's probably just very sage advice.
I think that's probably a safe thing to say, especially at this stage. We're at the very early days of this. So, Microsoft cited a few things just to finish this up. Micro conditions, rising development costs as primary factors. Also, analysts point to the impact of recent U.S. tariffs on Chinese-made goods that has disrupted supply chains and increased manufacturing costs. But in the context of the industry in general, it aligns with what competitors Sony and Nintendo have been doing recently. They've adjusted prices in various ways. Nintendo most famously recently with a higher cost console and the $80 game announcement. Again, in response to some of these economic worldwide pressures. Microsoft's gaming division reports strong performance, however, bolstered by popular titles and Xbox Game Pass subs lately. So, yeah. The point is, I think the bottom line is, A, they can afford this bump. B, this is why tariffs hurt us, because companies don't eat it. They send it to us. That's how this works. That we all get our quote unquote leadership gets up and goes, tariffs are great for us. And then companies go, no, they're not. And also customers, you pay us more now for the things you have to get or pay for. That's tariffs for you. And then somebody waits for somebody to blink, and it's all bullshit. So F tariffs.
Companies are going to pass it along somehow, this cost.
And I can't wait for the brave, anonymous texters who are going to write in and tell us how wrong we are about how this works. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. They're going to flood in.
It seems to be pretty unanimous. Like from what I've watched, it's like a bipartisan issue. I think it's just a question of, who's trying not to be seen as a not to get too political about it, but who's like anti-establishment.
Yeah. But that being said, I think you're right. But that being said, I'm going to get emails. They always come in.
I mean, yeah, I know. Well, politics is a favorite pastime of people. They get very passionate. So we're not trying to invoke that side of your brain. We don't need correction. It's just, this is going to impact everybody's wallets.
Yep.
When it comes to video games.
Yep.
Regardless of what you think about it, it's already happening, and it's going to affect all of us. Me in Canada, it's going to affect you guys in the States, and in many ways. But in the video game space, yes, everything's getting more expensive.
Yep. Well, let's talk about things that are getting more delayed, and also give John a little credit for the prediction. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed until May of 2026. For those who were sure it was coming this year, bad news for game companies that wanted to release their stuff this year and decided to push, or thought they might, because of the impact of GTA 6. Good news, you can put your games out early, and apparently for more money. But anyway, John, I throw it to you, since this was your prediction last year. Are you at all surprised that it was confirmed?
No, I wasn't surprised. We were in Discord talking about Game of the Year predictions for this year, because a couple titles have come out that have really stood out. We're going to talk about one of those at least later today. And some people brought up Grand Theft Auto 6, saying, hey, don't say what your Game of the Year is till Grand Theft Auto 6 is out. It's going to be the biggest game of the year. And I was this close to saying, yeah, it's not coming out this year. I didn't. It was my prediction during our Game of the Year coverage at the end of last year, but it got pushed back. For some reason, it just doesn't surprise me. It's a game that doesn't necessarily need an insane amount of marketing. I feel like it's already the most anticipated game of all time in a big way, even without anything really coming out about it. but it just didn't feel like a game that was about to come out, that was months away from release. And so this doesn't surprise me. They're saying that it's to avoid crunch-like conditions. I did see Jason Schreier on Blue Sky confirming that people he's talked to, and he's not been shy about accusing Rockstar of crunch. He's written articles on the subject. And he said that all of his people that he's talked to and been able to speak with have said, yeah, conditions are... It's not that it doesn't exist, but they are much improved, so that there might actually be some merit to this. Look, we're trying to not kill our developers getting this game out.
Yeah.
So there might be something to it. I always stand by, I want to play the best version of the game when it comes out. I wish that I could have had the experience that I have when I play Cyberpunk 2077 now when it came out back in the day. So, if this is what the game needs, is what the game needs. And I think people are going to demand that. It's been a long time since a Grand Theft Auto game came out. I think expectations on what that looks like, when a game comes out every year, it's really easy to go, well, this is what I expect. When it's been this long, what to expect gets a little more tossed up into the air, and you have to make sure what you put out runs great, looks great, and checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. So I think it's probably smart.
Yep, I agree. Some games that are probably breathing a sigh of relief right now, I would argue, would be things like EA's next Battlefield game, Bungie's Marathon, Sony's Ghost of Yōtei,
Taika Yōtei.
Yeah. There's word that Nintendo is working with Rockstar on a Switch 2 release of the game, so that gives them some time to get all that worked out. Borderlands 4 probably benefiting here.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, so scheduling Nerdtacular as well. You got to keep that in mind too. Grand Theft Auto Week. You don't want to.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it in. Well, let's see. Actually, I am aiming for some. The goal is somewhere mid-May through June. Early June is my goal. Is one of those dates.
May is when it's coming out.
I know.
Scott.
I know. I may have to rethink this a little.
So, John, your prediction is May of 2026.
Well, it is.
That's what they said.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
they said May.
The prediction now is it actually going to come out when they said it was?
Yeah, they say May 26th, 2026. They're going for all these sixes. GTA 6, 26, 2026. It's like all the sixes. I'm surprised it didn't do June 6th or June. Like 6/6/26. That's what I would have done. Because you got all the sixes, man. It's like the 11/11/11. Remember that for Skyrim and
that was so cool.
That was way rad.
All the same day.
Mario Monday and Sonic. What was the Sonic one? Oh no, it was the game. Dreamcast was a 99.99. I think.
I don't know. The only thing I remember about Dreamcast is that it's thinking.
Yeah, it was thinking. It was thinking about what to do with those stupid little MCU things, or not MCU. That's
Dreamcast was the 99. It was $99.99 for $199.
Yep, $199. Boy, those days. Get your $800 out for your Series X. Good Lord. Well, anyway, there's that. Let's talk about the games of May. We like to do this each month. See what's coming up. We had a hell of an April, most of which I'm still catching up on or trying to. But let's talk about the games of May. A couple things.
We need Jonathan Colton to sing like Games of May. We can only use it once a year, but he's got that 1st of May song.
Well, I'll do a little
you could do
little Mario music.
There you go. That's just as good.
Yeah,
right?
We'll have that in the background. We got Spray Paint Simulator. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be much different than it's basically the reverse of Power Rush Simulator. You're putting things on.
Oh, you know what? This actually looks good.
It does look good.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, Scott. Are you just looking at the list and I'm excited about number 1 on the list?
No, I get to spray paint shit and do jobs and upgrade.
Spraying things with paint does sound kind of nice.
Yeah, it sounds all right.
Yo, these games should be merged.
Yeah. Yep. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition on PS5. I just think that's interesting because I think those control the way they've made those Age of Empires games control well on consoles, specifically Age of Mythology or with controllers in general. It's actually really impressive. They're very fun to play that way. So I'm actually excited about that. There's a bunch on here. We'll skip a lot of it. An indie beloved game is getting a sequel. Savage Planet is getting one on May 8th called Revenge of the Savage Planet. You pissed off the Savage Planet. Now, revenge.
Now you have to pay. I don't know. I think it's maybe worth mentioning the Midnight Walk in terms of these games that look interesting. This has a real style and vibe to it.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Let's see.
Isn't that by the Little Nightmares guys? Or no, am I
yes. Hold on. Is it them?
From the minds behind Lost in Random and Fair.
Something like that. You got your, let's see, Doom the Dark Ages, May 15th, PS5, PC, Xbox Series S and X, Steam.
I think Beau might play that one.
I think Beau might play that one. Yeah.
He might play.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited for that. Even though I didn't love the last Doom game, I'm pretty excited about it.
Me too. This looks
I
like
heard some early impressions of the game, and it's like the reverse of Eternal. You know, if Eternal was cracked out Doom 2016, it's like this is like
it's going back, man.
Slow and tanky, and it's there's a new drop from Hugo like talking about the game, and he's like, the original Doom games had a bullet hell element, so we leaned really hard into the bullet hell element. That's why you've got a shield.
Oh, very nice.
So, yeah,
I like that stuff. So that's coming 15th. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 coming out on the 16th. So for you fighters, you'll love that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. I don't actually know which one this is.
That's the
this the
roguelike. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
It's just coming out on console. I think some of these announcements are just like console.
It's a roguelike? Oh, you know what? I have this on PC already.
Yeah, this is a PS
coming out
PlayStation release.
That's a cool game, by the way. I like that game.
Yeah.
Talked about it here on the show. It's very good. I think Shadowproof gave it to me.
Yeah.
Monster Train 2, big one for me. May 21st. Love that game. I will be playing that on Steam like my life depends on it. Game of Thrones, don't care about that shit. Oh, Linked Banner of the Spark is officially out on the 22nd. So the other published by Dreamhaven game will be a thing in your hands. And let's see. This is interesting. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown coming to PC only. That's just a PC deal. And let's see what you got here. Some kind of turn-based, grid-based Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles business.
Yeah.
XCOM TMNT.
Yeah, I could kind of get excited about that, I think, a little bit.
I could play that.
Yeah.
I could do it. I wouldn't hate that.
It's paper crafty, looks like, or little models or something like on their little stands. You know, depending on present. I haven't seen video or anything, but I want to. I'm sure it's cool. What else we got here? We got of note Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny. That's that big remaster deal, 23rd of May. If you're a fan of that series from Capcom, you'll be excited about that. Elden Ring Night Rain, the expansion no one thought was working or happening. So you guys are going to have to dust off your Elden Rings.
I don't think I'm going to be playing this one unless something crazy happens or we get into multiplayer.
Do you think?
John, are you getting this?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm in a similar boat. I don't know. I don't know.
I never finished the DLC. I realized it's and like I just kind of faded out, and I spent all that time replaying the campaign. That I'm like, if it was more, maybe I'd be interested. But this weird multiplayer thing, I don't know. I have to hear more, and they're being mysterious.
They are being very mysterious about it, aren't they? What's
Why
going
y'all
on with
being
that?
So mysterious.
Yeah, just be who you are and quit being weird. Okay, one of these I'm actually really looking forward to. Maybe the most on here, and I'm not even sure why. It's Disney's Illusion Island. And
because you've played Castle of Illusion.
Yes, you know what? That's it. I have fond feelings for those old Illusion whatever they were, Disney games with Mickey Mouse and stuff. And they were hitting way above their weight in their day. And I love the style of this. Is that new Mickey style they're doing for some of the animated stuff on the channel. And I heard real good stuff about this. It was Switch only forever. and now it's coming to other stuff. So I'm actually looking forward to this on the 30th of May. Disney's Illusion Island starring Mickey and friends. So his friends will be there.
Yeah.
Donald Duck.
You can play as the superior character from the Pantheon, Donald.
Yeah, Donald, Brave Star will be there. Many faces from the He-Man universe. I'm making all these up.
Well, Donald Duck is canonically one of two beings capable of casting the most powerful magic in the Final Fantasy universe.
That's right. Never forget. Never surrender.
forget
No.
that he was the first one to cast. I don't remember the name of the spell, but Tetraflare, whatever it was.
Is that what it is? I don't remember.
I don't remember. There's some. If you use the Final Fantasy metric of spell growth, he was the first one to ever cast the spell of a certain level.
Well, I'm going to cast a spell on you now, John.
Go ahead.
One of dark times.
Oh no! Are we to this news story?
We're to this
now?
news story now. Blizzard is making. We'll get to the StarCraft part of it in a second, but Blizzard is making a mobile game, and it's a MOBA. Okay, one of those MOBAs. They have some experience in that department. They've made a MOBA before.
Yeah, they've done it before. It turns out they still have one.
Mm-hmm. They still have a MOBA. Yeah,
I played it this week.
Yeah, of course, it's a good game.
They still have a MOBA. If they wanted to put money behind a MOBA, they actually have one. Scott, I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have. Heroes of the Storm, I believe it was called, or Blizzard Hero Smash.
Blizzard MOBA. Blizzard Dota.
The Blizzard Dota. Yeah, it was called that for a hot minute, right? And then they got in the fight with Valve and lost it or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they're making an Overwatch MOBA. They're calling it Overwatch 3, but really it's a MOBA. And I thought it'd be a great panel here, knowing John's love of Overwatch and its role in pushing Heroes of the Storm to the side to make room for their hot new shooter in the wake of Titan's fall apart. That you would be super thrilled about this as a new way, because you've gone on record, John, multiple times saying I would play other games in the Overwatch universe.
It's true.
Let's bring them into other genres and other things. Well, hey, good news for John that they've done it. They've made a MOBA on your mobile device. What do you think of that?
And let's be honest. Overwatch 3 is not that insulting because they have changed the number for less. So this is actually the biggest generational change for them to put a 3 behind the name Overwatch. So that's fine.
You think it'll be on PC too, or do you think they're just mobile? I'm like, this is so early.
I don't give a shit where they put it. They sometimes in life, you think like, is my life the Truman Show? Surely not. That's not interesting. Nobody would watch it. It can't possibly be. But then something happens that's so specifically targeted and tailored at you as a human being that you think, surely this was done simply to troll me. Like somebody reached into the cultural zeitgeist and found the exact combination of things to make me angry. Therefore, my life must be fiction.
Sure.
And that's how I feel about this news article. Overwatch 3, a MOBA for mobile devices. This is...
just hearing you say that is really, it's a painful thing to hear you say. It's painful.
I don't even know what to think. It's made me so mad I'm not even mad. Yeah. Somehow it has tripped the breaker on me being upset about it, and I just laugh. It's just like, all right, here we are. What are you gonna do? Like sure, why wouldn't it be this?
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations to all you mobile MOBA players. You're getting Overwatch 3.
Yeah. In mobile form. MOBA lol.
Yep.
That's all bad. What do you think, Beau? What do you like about this? Anything?
What do you like about this?
Trash. It's just trash. Like that's all I can say.
It's hard not to be annoyed with it.
It's trash.
I'm usually the one that'll go, okay.
They have Heroes of the Storm and they sunset it and everything, and they're like, you know what? You know, it was a great idea. I was doing that MOBA, but let's take all the Heroes of the Storm out of it and just put Overwatch. Like what?
Yeah.
What are you even doing now? Like
we have to wear our stupid, I hate this hat, but I have to put on the business hat and look at what they're actually doing. What they're trying to do is capture a huge Asian market and other aspects of the mobile market
it's
that
all
they've
the
yet to do.
buzzwords to make things successful, but not actually good.
And they will probably make billions of dollars with it. So that's why they're making this. They're not making this because they think that anyone wants it in the traditional sense. They're making
of course they're doing something. Yes, yeah. But is it good? No,
probably not.
Like, I mean,
not for us. It's not my job to speak to if it's going to make them money. I'm not in the business of making Blizzard money. I'm in the business of, do I care about your game? And this couldn't be a more bottom rung. This is the lowest level of game hell.
So this is even lower for you than, like, I don't know. This is lower than just saying, hey, John, let's play Overwatch 2 later.
I think John would rather play Overwatch 2 than play Overwatch.
Yeah.
We have 2 games. Only 2 games are left in the universe. We got Overwatch 2 and Overwatch phone MOBA. What would you rather play? He'd probably rather do neither and just read a book. But if he had to,
if it
would be Overwatch 2. You know?
Yeah, I probably would play Overwatch 2. That's how they do it. Maybe this is the long con to get me to finally suck it up and play Overwatch 2. They're going to hold my family hostage. They're going to be like, you are going to play an Overwatch. You can pick 2 or 3.
Well, Overwatch has Overwatch Stadium now.
Yeah, they have Stadium. It's kind of MOBA-ish, right? The Stadium mode, sort of.
I opened a client, but I didn't press play. I logged out, so I can't report on it.
I want to see it. I'll probably watch video because I don't really feel like playing it either, but I'm curious if that's a way to get people warmed up for the idea of that mode.
It's the same thing as in the life of Hearthstone, where they were like, let's make it a platform and, find new ways to get people to engage with their game as a service. Basically.
Now, ironically, here's what's funny. If they said, I mean, it would be better if they just said, hey, we're going to get back behind Heroes in a huge way. That would be the best scenario. But if they came forward and said, we're going to do a MOBA on mobile, and it's going to be like, it's Heroes of the Storm, but focused on mobile, that I would actually kind of get excited about because I could bring back some popularity for the MOBA proper, and it does exist as a PC game. And now this is just a little side thing, kind of like, Riot does this with League. There are, there's ways to do this.
And there's the main game.
Yeah, and Wild Rift is, for what it is, as it's aimed, is pretty fun. It's not my preferred way to play a game like that, so it's not really for me. But I don't poo-poo on it like I am this, because I would be like, no, okay, yeah, expand your IP or your brand or whatever, but have your core game there. And that's the thing that's weird about this.
I mean, if all they did was make a Heroes of the Storm MOBA, but like no new content for the main game, or like no... It's still sort of some level of copium until they bring their support for esports events back and all this.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's kit and caboodle. I'm not interested that much in their MOBA without the esports element to it.
Swiping a phone on stage.
I need people to cheer on. I want to watch excellence in gameplay. I like esports. And, I'm not going to be that interested if there isn't a form of competitive that I can graft onto. It's why I still like watching StarCraft competitive. I think I'm not sure what they're doing for GSL right now. I know maybe they're stopping it. I know there's a lot of scaling back, so I don't know if actually GSL is happening this year or not or whatever. But same, like I've got a Magic itch right now, and when I play Magic, I also like to watch the best players play. Like I'll watch a competition.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch some of the best players on their YouTube channels play and talk about the game. It's part of enjoying these kinds of games.
Yeah.
So if Heroes of the Storm is just going to be like exist, I'll still play it because I love playing the game and stuff. I'll log in and all that. I love it. But like, I'm not going to be singing their praises unless they bring back esports program.
Yeah. To you, the competitive part is, I don't think just to you. It's part of it. Yeah.
Part of it. Like it's inextricably linked, and Blizzard has just been shrinking that aspect of their business.
Yeah.
Continually. That you need to see real change back in the right direction.
Sir Whiskey Jack in the chat says so many other things to use the Overwatch IP for, like a CC or a CRPG, like a computer RPG. I mean, I would agree with you. It'd be amazing. Full story, turn-based combat, like incredible ways to expand on that universe. But guess what? that isn't a invoice for billions of dollars the way that a mobile MOBA that takes off like crazy in all territories that go crazy over these sorts of things. That's so much more money for them. We're no longer we don't live in the world now where Blizzard makes games because it's what they want to play. They now make games that make the most out of their name, their level of polish, and then opportunities that are actually out there for mega money, not just we're satisfied with this money. And that's just the way of it. I don't know how to get around it. John's always right when he says we are not in the business of worrying about that, and we're not. They may very well.
It's what it's the same product of what you talked about at the top of the show when we were talking about selling to CBS or Fandom or something like that.
Yeah, same idea. It's the same
idea. Like once you're bitten, once you're a vampire, you're a vampire.
Yeah, I guess they're lucky they still exist.
You can't unvampire yourself, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're lucky they still exist, and they're not one of them tons of studios that are just straight up absorbed or gone. Yeah. They're not BioWare quite yet. Yeah. Although
they're still in the business of providing fun. So, like, if you want to play one of their games and have a good time, it's not like some crime or anything like that. But like, some of these companies had like a mission statement that runs counter to what vampires want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
that's a good point. Muddy vampire.
And the vampires take over, and it's kind of done. That aspect is kind of done. So, I think there are still like esports people that are into esports or esports scenes. I think there's micro pockets. Like there's a Warcraft 3 resurgence right now happening a little bit with Grubby and all that. Those games are still ripe for those kinds of community events and stuff like that. But full-throated support from the company itself, I don't know. Well, that's where we get to the StarCraft aspect of this, where they're outsourcing StarCraft, I guess, too.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. In late March, news broke that 4 Korean companies were competing to pitch for the StarCraft license from Blizzard, NCSoft, Nexon, Netmarble, and Krafton. Not to be confused with Crofton, Beau's friend.
But wouldn't it be great if it was just Crofton? I'll throw my hat in there. Why not?
Yeah, we could make Crofton, shit happen.
The South Korean video game company.
they entertained his pitch. Yeah. We're like, all right.
He's the Canadian office for this new venture. I think that's a great idea.
Let's hear it. Let's hear your pitch.
He says...
He got in and went, what's StarCraft about?
Yeah, what is that all about?
And then they kicked him out.
It says Nexon, Nexon pitch was accepted. This is happening. They're going to make a unique, what they say is a unique take on the StarCraft universe. That makes me nervous. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't want to hear unique. I want to hear a sequel to StarCraft 2. And it seems crazy that they would do anything other than make another RTS game in that country. But
yeah, especially,
we'll see.
Yeah,
maybe unique take means there's 4 factions. It could mean a lot of things. So we'll see.
Yeah, this whole thing's really, I didn't see any of this coming.
Or maybe they're just going to take the same story, start from square one, but add some different kind of flair to it. It can mean anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, we hadn't started StarCraft in so long. People always think, oh, GTA 5 came out in 2013. It's been 13 years. It really is
potentially a Larian issue. Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
Well, no, but the point is like they just, this is one of the longest we've waited for any kind of follow-up for anything.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, it's not crazy having read the Play Nice book and understanding how things work at Blizzard a lot better, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's not that shocking, but it does feel like a Larian moment.
Sparkly.
Larian's like, we'll pay to do some Baldur's Gate and knock it out of the park, and now Blizzard can't do StarCraft anymore. So I'm guessing Nexon's going to come and try and ace it.
I want Larian to do
it. yeah, there we go.
Yeah, can Larian do it? That'd be great. Okay, let's talk about the PlayStation 5 for a moment. The PS5 release date for Ghosts of Yōtei. Right?
Yo.
Do I have it right?
Yep. No, you got it.
The follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima.
I don't blame him for having trauma. We've dogged him for saying Sushio.
Sashoma, Sashimi, and now Yōtei, Yoda. Ghost of Yoda. My homeness is. Coming October 2nd. And big question is, do I get it or wait for the Steam version? Which is
so wait, all these
later.
release dates are coming up because GTA is not coming out this year now?
Basically, yeah. Imagine having that kind of power in this business. You shape the entire release schedule for years. It's wild. You know, that's the kind of power you shouldn't have, I feel like.
Right. It's funny that we can make this comment about GTA and yet people were mad at me for saying that about Oblivion, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, so Yōtei, wait, Ben Whitmer in the chat says Ghost was announced first. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, this is not a reaction to Grand Theft Auto.
No, it's
This was always coming out then, is what they're saying.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, so maybe
there was speculation that Borderlands got moved up because of Grand Theft Auto, although they denied it, but like everybody would. But there was speculation that was why that got moved up.
Oh, okay.
But Ghost of Yōtei was not announced because of Grand Theft Auto. We knew about this long before the Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And in theory, Ghosts of Yōtei is not going to wait as long to feed out a PC version, because we're talking about the transition Sony made to start putting things sooner on PC happened after that game came out. So it felt like a really long time to wait for it. But everything since then has been much quicker turnaround. So I think we see Ghosts of Yōtei in like 6 months. So I'm thinking I might just like hold off.
I think it'll still be a year, but I will probably hold off. For one, well, we'll get to, actually, I'll tell you number one later when we get to what we played.
Oh, shit.
But for two, the second reason of these no reasons I've given so far is there's a lot to play.
Yeah.
I just, and I gotta stop buying games twice for PlayStation.
They're really expensive now too.
Because I've said this, but whenever I get frustrated and I go, man, I really hate waiting that year that they make us wait for the PC version. Why do they make us wait? It's because I buy it twice.
Yeah.
I'm the problem.
You are the problem.
To stop. And until I stop buying it twice, they have zero incentive to try and close that window up a bit.
But at least you already own that PlayStation 5 because your parents let you borrow it and essentially have it. And in John's case, or in Beau's case, he buys the console, plays one game on it, has a bad experience, turns it off again. By the way, no shade on Sony. This is not what we're doing. This is just a Beau thing. And then he buys it again on PC. So he's worse. He's like, I'll buy the console, I'll buy the game, and then I'll immediately buy the PC version.
Technically, a listener bought me the PC version.
Oh, that's right.
Thankfully.
That's right.
Zixa, thank you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's correct. And you know what? It's even worse is I keep trying to give away the PlayStation 5. Like my friend Mike as a kid. I'm just like, I'm not using the PlayStation. You guys want it? And they're like, no. I'm just like, I hate that it's collecting dust. It's sitting right there. You know what I was thinking? I might get a PS2 VR.
Mine's right.
You can use that on PC now too. By the way, the PC.
I might get a PS2 VR. That would.
That's what I'm saying. It'll run on your PC.
That would justify. I mean, it's more money in, but there's exclusives on there I can't get elsewhere.
Oh, that's true. If you got it for PC, which you can do, it works as a headset. The games don't. So you'd have to.
The games don't, and it's fiddly. I don't want.
Yeah, you don't want
enough fiddly.
Yeah, no.
By the way, because this, I don't know where we're going to cover it. We're kind of Oblivion adjacent, but the VR mods are already hot and heavy for Oblivion.
Yeah, so I talked to somebody at the show.
So I will be playing Oblivion at some point when the mods are done.
Sure. I talked to somebody at TMS Vegas in Vegas who said, "Hey, by the way, you should tell Beau this. I forgot to tell you this." He says the reason it's easy to play VR, they've already got VR stuff happening, is Unreal 5 has like a direct portal plug-in window thing for anything you make in VR.
Yeah, flat screen to VR. There's a UE. There's different for the different versions of UE. There's already like you can kind of like jack up your own mods for any Unreal Engine games to some extent. So yeah, they came prepared. The fact that they put Oblivion on Unreal means that the VR community has like a massive head start.
Yeah.
On on doing. Yeah, I'm in the Discord. I'm in that flat screen Discord.
Are you now?
We don't talk about it much in the show, but all the mods congregate in the flat screen to VR community in Discord. If anyone listening is interested, they should join. There's tons of mod projects that are there, and so the full UE conversion is just you can take any Unreal Engine, but it's like jacked. Like you got to do tweaking and stuff, right? Like it's the kind of modding. I'd only do if I really had to, But Skyrim VR was kind of like spoiling because they have a whole installer that just installs all the mods you need, and takes care of all of it.
Sure.
And they're going to do that for Oblivion.
Yeah.
And I'll be there for it. No spiders.
Oh, shit.
I checked. No spiders in Oblivion.
At all? Like any... hold on.
There's Spider Daedra, which is like they have a spider body and a woman on top, and
but you're into that.
That doesn't get you. That doesn't.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. I might be like, oh god, spider, but demon boobies,
booby lady,
VR demon boobies. Come here, mama.
Sure.
So I don't know. Like I don't know how it's gonna work.
You saying "Come here, mama"?
It may cure me of arachnophobia. If you mix boobies and spiders, I might be like, I don't mind spiders no more. you saying adding to that "Come here, mama" really gave a level of creep to this that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, you like that, eh?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like that. I mean, sorry everyone. It's for the jokes, guys. I'm entertaining.
Yeah, he's here to entertain. He is an entertainer. He'll be here all week. Tip your waiter. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Borderlands 4 coming out early because of GTA. We think September 11th or 12th. That's a good day to do it on. Don't do it on the 11th. There's things that happen that day. Although, you know what? We are now to the age where alphas and some Gen Zs who were not alive or were tiny babies when 9/11 happened, we are fully into 9/11 is just a meme machine for them now. It's funny to them to put Diddy Kong racing, like Diddy Kong in a little plane heading toward the towers. Like to them, it's what it was for us for the attack on Pearl Harbor. We just don't see it the same. We don't have the same trauma from it. So they make memes about it. And I see it all the time. And I'm like, yep, that kid's like 16. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's up.
Didn't know. Wasn't there.
Yeah. It's just a thing, man.
Didn't have John McCain visit his school like the next day.
No, they did not. Anyway, Borderlands 2, sooner than we thought, September 12th. And Gearbox's looter shooter. I'm sorry, Borderlands is what they like to call it.
Borderlands.
Yeah, let's get it right.
Borderlands. Yeah.
I can no longer hear Borderlands without thinking of Borderlands. It has become that in my brain. It just auto corrects every time I see it.
Do you think we'll get him up on the State of Play tomorrow doing I think it's tomorrow, is it? Or is it today? Oh no, this already happened.
Already did it. They already showed it.
It's while I was out of town. Did he say it there? Did we get what's his name? Mitch Hedberg?
He can't help it. He says that's how he says it.
Apparently his hair was something else.
I want to know. Can I find that?
I didn't actually. I clicked it. I watched. I tabbed. I seeked through it a little bit and went like, whatever. It's Borderlands. I'll probably buy it. I don't care.
Oh,
I couldn't be fussed to actually watch the thing.
I gotta find it because I love hearing him say it. Maybe I kept. Did I cap that? I may have capped that. I'll see if I can find the old one.
Borderlands.
State of Play.
Because the old one's worth having too. Boda. No, I didn't do it that way, did I? Border. Oh man, I want to see if I have it. I don't think I do.
Did you put it under Randy Pitchford?
Oh, here we go.
Borderlands Mother Fluffin' 4.
That was it. Borderlands Mother Fluffin' 4. Mother Fluffin' 4.
I guess his hair looks okay. I don't know what comments were about.
I mean, share it if you have it. No,
I have it. Yeah, embed link is time stamped at when he's speaking.
Okay, let's take a look, everyone. Together, we are here together. Here we go.
Of years of hard work from my teammates across the Gearbox Studios. So enough.
Maybe it was the shirt.
No, that hair is. What is going on with his hair?
Okay, so that is weird.
It looks like it looks like helmet hair.
Yeah, I don't like it. He looks like a monk or something. Here, let me give you a still shot.
It's like Beach Boys. Like it's.
Yeah, I don't like
combed over and then on the side. Like we're really.
I'm gonna say I don't think it's real. I'll just say it. I think.
Oh, you think it's?
He's got a piece.
The real Borderlands was where the wig met the head.
Yeah, it was the friend we were looking for all along the way. Here he is now with no background, looking in on us, checking in on us right there.
He's saying, "Bye, Borderlands."
Bye, Borderlands says.
Yeah, I don't know. That shirt is like a vibe, though. It's like we went to Egypt, maybe, or something.
I feel like this guy tried to sell me a timeshare while I was in Vegas. That's what I feel like.
Like they were like, "Listen, we're gonna sell a kids video game about shooting and looking cool. So, what do you want for your appearance?" And he went, "This is fine."
Yeah, this is all right. All right. Well, watch for that. Are we excited about this?
We've made fun of Randy Pitchford 100 times now. Is there anything of value to say about Borderlands 4?
Well, I would just ask, are you excited about the game and think the writing will be good this time and all that? Like, where are you at?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
not really. No, I don't think the writing's going to be good because
the writing will be bad.
It's never been. And the game, I don't know. Like, I always think I like the Borderlands games more than I do. I'm always like, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not about the writing. Like, it plays well enough. The guns will look cool. The art style is what it is. Like, it's about getting the guns and just shooting and all of that. And then I get in and I play for a couple hours, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm good if I never play this ever again.
Yeah,
the game is made for Crofton. Every time I'm in a Borderlands game, Crofton's laughing.
He's a goofball in there. He loves the humor of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think the humor's never.
I mean, to be fair, like
I
think it's funny too. Like the Tiny Tina's Smurf level was pretty. I don't know. It's the kind of thing that's better with friends. But I'm not like, oh, this should win an Academy or should win International Laugh Awards. But like, it's a good time with friends.
Yeah, I just want loot, and I want guns that are great. And
honestly, Borderlands 3, the shooting and gunplay is awesome. Like it's good. It's good shooting, good time. Like it's not. It's like the first one came out and we had this like really high impression of the game. Like the first Borderlands was great, and honestly, 2 was pretty rock solid as well. Mm-hmm. Then it just kind of, became, it never got any more exciting than that.
Well, Tiny Tina,
it peaked at 2.
Sure,
like that's
sure.
Kinda,
but some argue the Tiny Tina thing was better than any of them because the writing was actually good and funny, and there were moments of like,
yeah. I think like the different take on things was good, and it was like Borderlands 2 had the D&D expand DLC, which was like so funny. It was even funny because like at one point, like these South Korean, like there's these demons, but they're played by South Korean players, and they whoop your ass so bad, and they're super racist. And they're like, "You Americans suck!" Like it's just really funny, and it's like South Park level kind of humor. And then you get your revenge on them later. You die and respawn, and you have to figure out how to beat them. Not with your skill though.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly how that happened, but like. I don't know. The 2, like 1 and 2, it peaked at 1 and 2. I think at that point their talent had left. Like there had been a falling out and things had split, and they could still make a great game, but they never connected on the lore level. It just, except for like Tales, I think was kind of an outlier.
Yeah, Tales was so good.
Yeah, Tales was good. Oh man.
So I'm expecting like not much in the writing department. Maybe it'll be funny with friends, and it should be a pretty fun shooter. Like if you like putting your cursor over a head or genitals of the enemy and pressing fire and seeing what's happens. I've got a game for you. It's called Borderlands.
Borderlands
4.
All right. Well, Randy Pitchford, rest in life. He's alive. Let's move on. Let's get to the break. When we take this break, what we do usually is go pee and stuff. But what's great is right after we get back, there's like a whole bunch more stuff. We got a Dear Martha today. We got our Weekend Gaming and some really great other content today from you guys who sent stuff in. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, everyone. Thanks for letting us have a little break, because now it's time for Dear Martha, a chance for us to have a let her go home and do it in a real fun way, because that's what John does. John, explain this week's and what we're doing.
Yeah, so last week, people seemed to really enjoy what we did. Turns out when you rip off another successful game show, people respond well to it. So we're going to rip off actually once again by playing a little game called Find the Flaw. I'm going to read a Dear Martha letter that describes a video game.
Ooh.
Somewhere in the letter is a factual flaw that I need you guys to identify and point out and correct. Because if there's one thing I've learned doing a show on the internet, you can't say something incorrect. It needs to be corrected.
That's right.
So this is your chance to bring balance to the force, correct the error, and all will be right. Once I finish reading the letter, you can ding in by saying ding with various levels of certainty. And first person to get it will be the winner.
Here we go. It didn't work. Hold on 1 second, please. Nope, that's not it at all. What the hell's going on? Oh, I see what I did. All right, here you go.
My dearest Martha, we're going to be waiting a little longer for Grand Theft Auto 6 now. So I thought I'd give you some fun information on the series' first foray into 3D with the game Grand Theft Auto 3. Speaking of delays, Grand Theft Auto 3's release was also delayed due to the September 11th terrorist attacks, which pushed the game's release to October 23, 2001. It also saw content changes made as a result, such as the airplane called the Dodo in the game having its wings clipped and no longer being able to fly, and the colors of the police cars being changed. This makes a decent amount of sense, as the game is set in a fictional version of New York City known as Liberty City. In the game, you play as a silent protagonist named Claude, who is looking for revenge on his girlfriend Catalina, who betrays and shoots him after a bank heist. Though it takes many twists, turns, and betrayals, the game does eventually see Claude get revenge by blowing up his ex while she's in a helicopter. Despite its name, Grand Theft Auto 3 is actually the 5th game to release in the series, if you count the 2 London expansion packs that were released for the original. London being one of the few actual city names to be used in this series, as it typically uses made-up names such as San Andreas, Vice City, Liberty City, or Anywhere City. Perhaps the most obvious and painful fact about GTA 3, though, is that by the time GTA 6 actually comes out, the game will be going on 25 years old. Good Lord, Martha. I'm old. Yours in this life and the next, Sid Vacant.
Oh my gosh, this one's hard.
There's no Anywhere City.
Is that
you dinging in?
You dinging in?
I'm dinging in.
Okay.
City is Anywhere City.
Anywhere City is the name of the city in Grand Theft Auto 2.
Oh, I'm glad you cleared that out, because I would have gotten that wrong.
Damn, I had no idea. I've never played 2 yet.
Let's give you a... I'm going to say, can you read the first, or did you paste in the thing?
I pasted it. It's in there.
Okay, we're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. We're based on the series' first foray into 3D.
I like the chat's guess of my name isn't Martha. Technically correct, but it is a Dear Martha letter, so...
I do... Okay. The one thing I don't know for sure is the content changes due to 9/11. It sounds right. I know that the delay was a 9/11 thing, and that is correct for sure. I don't know about the Dodo plane or any of that, because I don't know if they actually did anything that would have threatened whatever the version of their 2 towers were. I know his name was Claude. That's not weird. That's definitely his name.
No, that is weird, but that's,
well, it's weird, but if you didn't know, that might sound like an easy one, because you think it'd be Hank or Carl or some like mobby name, but Claude's like weird.
French name. Was he French in the game, or
he didn't speak? We don't know.
All right, the only thing I can think of, I'm going to be wrong. I think it's you say he blew up his ex in a helicopter?
Yeah.
I don't recall that. But I mean,
okay, so you're dinging in? That's your guess?
Dinging in that it's not how his ex-wife was either dispatched or otherwise. Maybe she didn't even die. But I don't think that happened.
Okay. You think a different method was used?
Yeah.
Incorrect. He did blow her up in a helicopter.
What is it then?
You guys want to keep going, or
I don't
are
know.
you throwing in the towel?
How many chances do we get?
The problem is
I don't know till you give up.
Okay.
I think I've only really played to some great extent Vice City. This is not Vice City trivia. Not that I'd do any better.
But what do you think about the 20? Is the math right on the 25 years? GTA 3, 2021.
Could it be older? 23, 35 years? It's 25.
No, it'd definitely be 20 something.
2000? Did Grand Theft Auto first come out in the year 2000?
2001. Maybe. 2001.
Yeah. I don't think it's that.
Sid Vacant. Ooh, I just had a chill. I said Sid Vacant and I had a chill. Why?
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, what does it mean?
My erectile dysfunction is also not working. It's gone.
This is actually pretty exciting because the chat has not gotten it yet either.
Yeah.
And usually the chat is on the spot with this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that I think that this is one of the better ones and more challenging ones, because here's a fun fact about writing this while I give you guys a little more time to think.
Yeah.
I hadn't decided what I wanted to be the incorrect bit of information as I was writing this, and found out something I wrote as a fact ended up being incorrect when I tried to find out if it was true or
Oh,
not.
really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. A little bit of trivia there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't help me, damn it. So, the other one that had a real...
Delting in, beep.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, wait. Beau beeped.
Okay, beep in, Beau. Beau beep.
Mine's definitely going to be wrong. It's a Hail Mary. The colors of the police cars were not changed.
Incorrect. They were changed from white and blue, which matched New York, to a more traditional black and white.
Okay.
All right.
I like that. Little Beau beep, what we're going to call that.
Farting for me.
Okay, I got an idea. Or I think I know.
Okay, you can beep in?
Yeah, I'm going to beep in. I'm going to say that the series... London is one of the... You said the few, though. Because I was thinking of the Chinatown one, Chinatown Wars. The DS PSP game. It was a great game, by the way. Might be my favorite GTA game. Story-wise, it was really good. All right. Well, shit, that's not it. So I'm not beeping it.
Well, your guess was Chinatown is a real town?
Well, it is in lots of places. It's a thing with a real name. I guess it's not a city. All right. My beep in will be...
Was there a Jack Nicholson movie called Chinatown?
There's a movie called Chinatown with Jack Nicholson in it. But it wasn't. Okay. It was about Chinatown in San Francisco. I mean, we have a Chinatown here in Salt Lake, so it's like...
Yeah, this is the word.
I went to Chinatown in Vegas.
There's no actual Chinatown.
All right, the only other thing I can think of is... The name of the plane wasn't a Dodo. It was something else.
The name of the plane that you can get in is called the Dodo. It is a wingless airplane that if you tried hard enough, you could get to glide, but was not capable of flight. But... we're going to go ahead and call it there. The chat has not gotten it. You guys have not gotten it. So I will give you what the answer is. That is where the factual inaccuracy is, though. Many people, including myself as I was writing this, thought that the airplane was originally intended to be flown around the city, and that they removed the wings and made it only capable of light gliding as a result of September 11th. That is not true. Per a Rockstar Q&A, they actually said it was never their intention to let you fly in the game, and that the Dodo was not changed in response to September 11th. That was just an Easter egg that got a rumor started about it because people kept messing with it and obsessing over it.
Oh, man. I knew it had to be something around that, but I was...
They just didn't have flying technology.
You buffered it in facts, like the delay... and why the delay and like all that. And I remember there being airplane controversy of some kind. It's the Dodo part that threw me.
Yeah. So the funny thing is they did modify the game. I guess there was in the background as part of like stuff you could see going on in the city. There were airplanes that would be flying around. And because it would be flying behind buildings, they worried about the imagery of that. So they changed what would They changed how it would look, so you would not have a depiction of an airplane going behind buildings in the background. That was changed, but the actual dodo itself was never altered.
I remember being completely blown away by this game.
Conspiracy theories, because that was the first time you could play GTA in 3D and run over people like crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, this was a monumental.
Which when you think about it, it's funny. It's like, why would the video game that lets you run over hordes of people care about if you flew if you plane into a building?
Yeah, or had beat up hookers or smacked hookers before you did horrible acts with them in your car or whatever. Yeah. No, I agree. And the things they'd say on the radio stations, like I was a little surprised they shied away from any of it and didn't just lean into it. But man, it's making me want to play GTA. That's not right. I don't want that in my life right now. I can't play that. All right, excellent work, John. You stumped us cleanly and clearly. Now it's time.
Yeah, you won this week, John.
Yeah, you did good. Now it's time for this. Games we played this week. All right, John finished Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, you're just gonna throw it out there?
Yeah.
There's not gonna be any fanfare.
I went to Vegas. Look, I went to Vegas. I had no time for games. I knew this was gonna happen. I kind of felt it in my guts. So you win, I guess. You get this.
Spice.
You get one of those.
Yeah, nice.
Congratulations.
I've always wanted spice.
Spice. So how things ended?
Yeah.
And are you happy with how things ended?
Yeah, I finished Ghost of Tsushima. I know Scott's trying to, downplay it as much as possible, as if his Vegas trip is what prevented him from finishing the game. I'm sure now that he's back next week, we'll be hearing his take on the ending, because it was really only Vegas that prevented it.
Yeah.
But chat room's already jumping on you. Rhino Kenny says Scott went to Vegas last week, so he couldn't finish it from his declaration 4 years ago.
I mean, it's a fair point, but I've been on a run. People have to admit I've kind of, I'm working on it. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I restarted it for shit's sakes. But anyway, yeah. I kind of really like where the story has ramped, but I don't know how it ends, and I don't have a prediction for that. Is it just a boss fight with that guy, or is it? You don't have to tell us, but was it good?
It's good. I really liked the ending. They made the ending about what I think the ending should have been about. There's kind of multiple layers to the story. It's not just about, there's this, Mongolian guy we got to kill. Like, that's a big part of it. That's what sets it off. But the story, the true story of Jin's journey and becoming the Ghost of Tsushima, is a personal one, and it's a family story. And the story ends on that note, not on the note of fighting the Mongolians. And I think that was really smart. It was an incredibly well done story. There's a big decision at the end, in terms of, live or die, I guess will just be what I say. I chose live, for anybody wondering what direction I went with the ending. I don't know what happens the other route, but it felt like the correct ending to me. It's funny, you're showing this, which is, it looks like it's from the little DLC island thing, the little side adventure you can go on. I did play around with that, but I will admit I did not finish that bit.
Oh, so you really haven't totally finished the game that we were playing?
No, I got credits.
Oh.
Like real credits, not like first 50%, here's a tease of the rest of the game credits.
For those that don't know what we're referring to, see Resident Evil 2 previous discussion core podcast. There you go.
Yeah, there's your lore. But no, it's really good. It's an awesome game. It's fantastic. And Scott, you should finish Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm gonna.
This would be my recommendation. I think you would. I think you'll like it.
My goal is to do that. Now, can I do it in a week? I don't know. I'll try. I'm going to try. It's all I'm going to play, because I am committed to being done with it before I get too meaty in anything else, including Expedition 33, which hooked me immediately last week. Haven't had time to play that either this week, so I'm letting that steam for a minute. Wait, that sounds like I'm making a joke about Steam. I'm really not. It is on Steam, but I'm going to have it sit there, simmer. I'm letting it simmer,
Similar.
And then I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna finish saving the island and its people. It's good people, right? From the Mongolian horde. And then I'm gonna not do that anymore. And then I'm gonna go play 33. I am sticking to this. I am doing it. All right. So everyone,
committed.
yeah, you guys hear me. I know I've said this before about the PS5 version. Technically, I could be really done, because I got almost done with that one. Well, no, I guess I didn't get as far as I thought I did, but I got a ton.
Have you gotten to the snowy area in Tsushima yet?
No, but I'm pretty sure that's right up the hole, right where I'm kind of headed next.
Okay,
It's right up the hole.
Yeah. Because here's what I always find funny about, because you said before, like, I got so close that first time. I was so close.
Yeah.
And then I found out that, like, you're so close was you almost got to the end of Act 1.
Yeah, it's embarrassingly not close.
3-act game.
Yeah.
And now you're getting close to the end of Act 2.
Yeah.
I will once again point out, this is a 3-act game.
Yeah, it's a big game. And bigger than I thought it was, clearly. But also, all the side shit I was involved with in the first playthrough on PS5 was really giving me the sense that I had done more than I had, because I was getting so many skills and so many abilities and all this shit so quickly, or at least it felt like I had done everything. So, and also the story felt like a real crescendo point. Like I had recruited friends, which I did, to come help me fight the Mongolian guy. Like they really set it up to feel like that was sort of the end of a shorter game. And I was dead wrong. It was like a third of the game, if that. And so I guess what I'm saying is I've played 3 acts of a game, but 2 of them twice. And so it's almost like I'm playing I'll be playing a 4-act game is what I'll be doing. Think of it that way. So,
I will say the 3rd act is shorter than the rest. I actually think, the 1st act is probably the longest. 2nd one a little bit shorter, and then the 3rd one I would say is significantly shorter if you mainline it.
Mm-hmm.
But because it did end sooner than I expected.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, this sounds like the final mission, and then it was like, oh, well, this resolved, and they're like, hey, you can still go do this, and I was like, I wonder if there's more game after that, and then I got credits, and I was like, oh, okay, this is I didn't expect it to be done at this point.
But it felt satisfying, right? At that point, you didn't feel left.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it felt really good. It just compared to Acts 1 and 2, 3 was a good deal shorter. So once you get to it, yeah, you're pretty close to the end, especially if you kind of mainline the story. And it doesn't give you as much to do up in the far north as you did in the other places.
Okay, that's good to know. There you go. Done and dusted. John did it. I'm going to do it. Mark my words, people. All right.
The 4-year journey to the end of Ghost of Tsushima.
That's right.
After being lapped.
That's right.
Scott's gonna do it.
Completely lapped. It's annoying as hell. Anyway, hey, and you're also much further now as a result in Expedition 33, I assume. I don't know about much, but you're further than me.
Yeah, are we going to talk about that, or are you going to talk about your stuff?
I'm going to talk about this real quick. So I was in Vegas all week for this event where we had a great time, announced Nerdtacular next year. All this fun stuff went down. Had a great time. And one of the things we always do is have a video game tournament with a trophy winner. The trophy's artwork by me on an arcade cabinet, 3D printed by Brian Ibbett. Has like lighting in it and all kinds of stuff. Really cool thing to win. And Gratz goes out to Ducey this year, who was our big winner. I was out in the first round. I lost in the first round to Dr. Jerry Tolbert in a round of Virtua Cop.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he thinks, this is Dr. Tolbert's words, that I was screwed by a wonky screen on my side, because there was a tendency. These are all old arcade games, obviously, free to play in this place. Shout out to the One Up Arcade, or the Player One Arcade bar. But anyway, I would fire sometimes, and the light gun was like off if I aimed in certain ways and dead on in other ways. It felt like the screen was warping where the light was going a little bit. But that's the rules there. For our competition, if you're playing asteroids and asteroids are being funky, that's the deal. It's just you do it with what you have. And so I did with what I had. I played Virtua Cop. I heard a lot of stuff like this.
Shoot outside the screen. Congratulations.
A lot of noise like that, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It was great. I had a good time. I was out in the first round. And then things got intense, and I've never seen... So semifinals were a game between Sunbun and Ducey playing the 1994 tournament edition of NBA Jam. And I don't know the last time you guys played NBA Jam to a real nail biter, but that was one of the most intense, loud. Like everybody had watches on that had a setting for detect decibels that are too high. Everyone's watches went off. That's how loud everybody in that bar got. So just screaming, "Wow!" When these guys, he shot a 3-pointer from half or more than half court that tied the game and went into overtime. Sunbun did. And then just a really gnarly overtime. It was so freaking fun to watch. We had such a blast with that. So that was my gaming for the week. That's it. I mean, I played a bunch of other arcade games while I was there.
Yeah, it sounds fun, though.
Oh, it was so much fun. So much fun. So congrats to all those guys who won or got in the tournament or got further in the tournament than I did. I did terrible. But I wasn't the only one. Me and Brian Ibbett, the hosts of this thing, out in the first round. So I don't know what that tells you, but it tells you something. But while I was gone, I got some games that I'm looking forward to playing. So I'm just going to give some quick credit to CT7567, who gave me Badlands Crew, which is, the Bomber Crew and the other, I think there's a second game, it's Space Crew, I think. But it's basically like kind of a crew management, kind of real-time strategy sort of thing that I have always been interested in, never really pulled fully a trigger on. I own one of them, but I haven't played much of it. Badlands Crew is like Mad Max with the formula, but with Mad Max stuff. So you're driving a big war rig.
I saw this, thought of you, seemed very interesting. So I'm curious to hear what you think of, because I looked at it and I liked the art style and I was like, this seems awesome.
Yeah.
So I will have to wait and hear if it's awesome.
Yeah, I will play that this week for sure. And big thanks to him. I came home to that. It was a very nice little surprise. And then I also got another surprise. Dirty Llama gave me a copy of Liar's Bar, which I think is like Liar's Dice, and I think that's in Red Dead or something, right? The Liar's Dice minigame, I think. Anyway, wherever that is, it's supposed to be a bit like that, and you're a bunch of like these animals in a bar doing bets, and it's supposed to be really fun. The reviews are off the charts on this thing. I've not played it. I really like the art. And it looks like a kind of a good time, so I will be definitely checking that out. So thank you, Dirty Llama, for that. I'm excited about both these games, so you guys are awesome. And that's all I had. Usually I got like 3 games today. Nope, I got nothing.
You were busy.
I got a bad time on Virtua Cop. That's all I had time for. Moving now down the line to John and what you've been up to. I guess Clair Obscur is our next thing. So how'd that go?
Yep. Let's talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which I talked a little bit about last week and said, hey, I think this seems pretty good after the first hour. I am now significantly further and maybe not even further, because here's the thing. I like this game so much that one, I restarted it to get an achievement.
Oh my gosh.
I actually replayed through the whole intro because I missed an encounter in that, apparently there's a mime to fight in that first area in Lumiere. And
weird.
I didn't fight the mime, and I wanted to fight the mime. And you know what? It was worth it, because what you get for fighting that mime is you get the song Lumiere to play on the gramophone at camp. And that song is a banger. And nothing will make you feel better about sitting down and looking through your stats and setting your abilities than hearing that song on in the background. That song is so good, and this soundtrack is amazing. Like,
it's really good.
I'm going to have to get creative with my categories for Game of the Year, because right now, Clair Obscur has taken it for best soundtrack. It's my favorite game I've played so far this year. I like the art style better than anything this year. Like, it is hitting high on so many levels right now for me. I cannot say enough good things about this game. Like, it is one of the few games that has made me actually stop and just go, I just want to look at this world, because this looks like nothing I've ever seen before. Like, it starts off and it's like, we've all kind of seen the trailers and the like kind of twisted, broken apart version of France that they showed, which was impressive enough because, Scott, you and I, at least, I don't remember where Beau was on it, but I remember during the trailer for that, we looked at it and we were like, oh, this looks really cool, really interesting, just from an art aesthetic. But then the next place you go, it's kind of like a woodsy area, and it's like, all right, woods. But you start getting into some places where I just stop and I'm just like, this is one of the most gorgeous looking environments I've ever been in. And for as bleak as this game opens with being, a real emotional gut punch and all of that, this game is also extremely funny. I have laughed out loud multiple times playing this game, especially when you get into some of the characters that are a little funnier, have a little more personality. There's a race of beings that are notoriously big into fighting, but they are not that intelligent. And so, you talk to them. I don't want to give anything that's too spoilery, but like, I'll give you one that's a good example of just the writing. One of these creatures, again, they're not bright. They like to fight, and they're good-natured. They're kind of childish too.
Sure.
He asks you can ask him for more stuff. Like, he gives you something and you're like, that's it? And he's like, well, what do you want? All right, fine. I'll give you something else if you can answer a trivia question for me. So he asks you a math problem. And when you give him the answer, which I had to Google because I'm not good at math. So I immediately was like, oh shit, I got to Google this because it's complicated for me. I Googled it, gave him the right answer. He goes, yeah, I don't know math very well. That sounds about right. I'll give it to you. It turns out he doesn't know either. And I looked it up because I was like, okay, I got to know, like, could I have picked anything, or is he just saying that you can pick any answer? He will still give you the item because he doesn't understand math very well.
That's great.
So he's just like, I don't know, seems right.
Damn.
It's very, very funny. There's another one of them. He's an outcast among his people because he doesn't want to fight. He just wants people to go gamble at his casino. And he asks you if you're a gambler at heart. And you go, yeah. And he goes, all right, well, I got to test you. I got to see if you're really a gambler. And he's like, if you have a 50% chance of doing 100% extra damage over an extended period of time, how likely are you to do more damage? And your options are, they're the same, they're higher, they're lower, or I don't care. And I went with, well, they're the same, because it would be the same, technically.
Sure.
And he goes, no, you don't say that's spoken like a non-gambler to me. You're not one of us. Get out of here. Didn't want to hear it from me. So I tried higher, thinking, well, maybe he thinks, he wants to talk to somebody who's like, yeah, I have better odds, who just doesn't understand the way numbers work. And he's like, no, your heart's not in it. So I went lower because it's like, oh, maybe he's dumb. We know they're dumb. Maybe he's with that. And he's like, you just got to try harder. So finally I went, I don't care. And he goes, that's the gambler spirit. It's not about numbers. It's not about odds. It's about just having a good time. You're one of us now.
You know what's surprising? I'm not saying all French people aren't funny, but I very rarely have met funny French people. I'm just saying. All right. I want to make a big general statement. Most French people don't strike me as hilarious. And they think Jerry Lewis is funny. It's like the Germans think Hasselhoff's a great actor. It's like, I don't understand what the heck's wrong with everybody. But to hear an entirely French team and French writing team made this actually funny is very good. So thank you for hearing out my biased opinion about a whole nation of other human beings.
Right, great.
Continue
Thanks.
on.
I'm glad that's in the middle of me reviewing a game. Like Scott, thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe you've just not been exposed to some funny French stuff.
I probably not. You're probably right. I have stereotypes that I've adhered to for years, and I probably should change that. So anyway, continue.
So it's it is an absolute joy to play in a lot of ways. This has reignited. Not that I lost it. Obviously, of us here, I'm the one that's always playing Final Fantasies and JRPG style games anyway. But this is the closest I've ever felt to playing one of those where I feel the way I felt when I used to play those. Like, this is the way I used to feel like when I played Chrono Trigger for the first time. This is the way I felt when I played, Breath of Fire 2 for the first time, where it felt new
really like
and
this game.
exciting.
Yeah.
Like, I really, I want to talk to everybody. I don't want to miss anything. And The active combat elements, which seem to be the one area that this game's a bit divisive, because I think a lot of people went, oh, it's a traditional turn-based JRPG, this is for me, and then they found out that there's an active timing mechanic and went, oh no, it's not for me, I have to get good.
Yep.
Yeah, but can't you just like take the damage and just heal through?
You can, but
to a degree, there are encounters in this game where they will one-shot you. But this game has two mechanics, and that's the thing that, first of all, you can trivialize this and you can remove it. It's so weird because people are like, well, I want to play it, but I don't want to do a timing mechanic. It's like, well, you can turn it off. Well, I don't want it done for me. Well, what do you want then? But there are two mechanics that you can do. You can dodge or you can parry. Dodging, you take no damage. But you don't get anything. You just don't get hit. And the window for dodging is pretty generous. If you press dodge when you see the attack coming towards you, you're probably not going to get hit. Not that hard to do. The problem is they also gave you the option to parry. And parrying has a lot of perks. If you parry all the attacks, and if it's only one, you only have to do it once, you will perform a counterattack, which does a ton of extra damage. And you will get action points, which is essentially like getting mana for free during the game. So it's extremely beneficial to parry. And I think a lot of people are getting hung up on this, but I have to parry. No, you don't. It's very easy to dodge attacks. You don't have to parry if you're having a hard time with the parry window, because it's much more strict than the dodge one.
right.
Just don't parry. I went and I fought a boss. I went to an area. It was marked danger. So I was like, well, clearly I'm not supposed to be here. I better go in there. And I went in there and I fought. It looked like a little sheep. Looked like a weird ball-headed sheep. And this thing beat the ever-loving snot out of me. Yeah, like every hit was an instant kill. Clearly the danger was well spoken. But
It was nausea.
one thing that this game doesn't do that a lot of JRPGs do, this game uses autosave. And if you die in an encounter, odds are you're going to restart right in front of that encounter. So it's not a case of like, oh God, when was the last time I saved? I got to go through the dungeon and all these random encounters again. You don't. You just do the fight again.
Yeah.
It's like dying in a Super Meat Boy level. Maybe not quite that fast, but it's not a big deal. So I went in and I was like, all right, well, let me see if I can get used to this sheep. And what I learned very quickly is that there were two attacks that I had the parry window down perfect on. And there was one attack that I could not manage it. So I dodged it. And it was very dodgeable. And it took a while. It took a bit of time because I wasn't doing an insane amount of damage to it. I killed it. And at a time when I was looting mostly like level 6 of the... There's these stat boosters, but they also give you abilities. I got a level 10 one. So clearly I was outclassed by level, but able to do it because I was able to dodge and parry appropriately to get through it. It was not that hard. And that's the other thing you do have to get used to. If you fail and your party dies, there's no penalty. You just restart and you judge whether or not you want to do the fight again or not. I really think, and I know there's people in our Discord and I know I'm going to hear about it. I really think people that are making this game sound like it's difficult, that are using words like Dark Souls, are up a tree. It is not that hard. They are tight windows. I'm not going to pretend like they're like, oh, I can't get hit by anything. There have certainly been fights where I'm like, oh, this is going to take time I don't want to spend. I'd rather go do other things. But you can do it. It is not a hard game. This is not a Souls-like JRPG. It's not the first one of these. Like you can manage it. You just have to get outside of the headspace of, oh, I failed. The adventure's over. This game's impossible. Like it's not that hard of a game, but it is an extremely fun game, extremely rewarding game, and you can out-level things too. Like that's the other thing is the combat is fun and engaging enough to where anytime I've had to redo combat, I'm not upset by it because I think the combat's really, really fun. And every opportunity is a chance to get those timings better. I used to never parry because I was bad at it. I was like, I can't do this. And then what I learned is you can actually use the dodge ability to learn how to parry. Because if you they will tell you whether or not you dodged or whether you performed a perfect dodge. If you see perfect whenever you dodge, you're hitting dodge in the parry window. So if every time you try to dodge something, you're seeing perfect, start hitting parry instead of dodge. You will counterattack every time.
Yeah. And so, it's very satisfying, those counters. I find them to be.
Yeah. And I mean, like, there's a reason people chase them for sure, because nothing feels better than countering. You take no damage, you do a big hit back, you get a big boost. But this is right now easily in the running for my game of the year. I have heard the story from people who have played it and played through it, that the story just keeps getting better. And I already think it's, top tier. Metaphor ReFantazio was my game of the year last year, and so far I'm having more fun with this than I did with Metaphor. Metaphor was an amazing story, and it was gameplay that functioned and didn't get in the way and was enjoyable enough. This is hitting on the story front, and it's hitting on the gameplay front. I love the way the world looks. I love the way the game sounds. I cannot say enough good things about this video game. It's one of the best games I've played in a long time.
I'm early, but I agree with you so far entirely on everything you said. I think it's a really remarkable experience so far, and I'm so stoked to finish Tsushima so I can go back and finish it. One other thing I wanted to say real quick. I got a text from my buddy while we're doing the show who says he's listening in his car, and he wanted me to say, I lost it. Well, basically, you sum it up to this. He basically says, hey, the reason you're seeing a difference when they're having a little cutscene isn't that it's going out of engine. It's still in engine. It's in 30. They're doing 30 frames for the cinematic stuff. So what's jarring?
Is that what it is?
But
it also looks fuzzy. It also looks like they're putting a filter over it.
And
it also
that's possible.
Gets grainy.
Yeah, that's possible. That I'd have to look at. Maybe there's something even in the options, but they go from, like in my case, I'm running this at 120 frames a second or something on my PC, and when it switches to a more cinematic 30, and I think that is jarring. I don't necessarily love that feeling.
Oh, they're like, our thing is a movie, so movies are best at 24 frames per second or whatever.
Well, or I know that some, for some reason, games that try to maintain the frame rate do stutter and have issues when they go to cinematic story mode angle stuff. I don't know why that is. I've never really understood that. But it's a thing. I didn't know it was an overworld map. I haven't gotten here yet.
There's an overworld.
Oh,
and I'm pretty sure you're going to get an airship and stuff too.
Holy shit.
I already have a thing that I can ride on the overworld.
Okay, I had no idea. I'm looking at it now, first time. It's wild.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The overworld stuff, which I've seen in trailers, could end up being very influential to like other JRPGs who've like ditched the overworld.
Yeah.
Because we're in 3D now, no overworld. Yeah. Like every Final Fantasy since whichever one where they stopped,
Yeah. That's impressive.
It's like, oh no, you actually could probably do an overworld and it's fine.
And everywhere you look.
It doesn't have random encounters. It does the usual, like you can go into an area and a cinematic can force you into an encounter, but it doesn't have random encounters or anything like that. This game obviously has a reverence for JRPGs. There's a lot of references to them. There's a lot of nods and things. It's not afraid to get a little goofy in the way that some of the Final Fantasies will occasionally get goofy. I did see a room that was on fire with a guy standing next to it, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "This is fine." So I was like, that was the world dialogue. I was like, okay, all right, that's fine.
They haven't had to pay. Nobody's had to pay Robert Pattinson any kind of extra royalties for the shit. There's been no
I
accusation.
have no idea how Robert Pattinson is not needing to get paid for this. Yeah. I genuinely, he is all I can see. Doesn't matter how I dress him up. I got lots of hairstyles now. I've seen Robert Pattinson with some crazy hair.
Mm-hmm. It just looks like him. It's just straight up looks like him. So
It does look like,
and we know
I know it's voiced by Charlie Cox, but it doesn't look like Charlie Cox. I just finished watching a lot of Daredevil.
Yeah,
it looks like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, it's like and even if they did the mocap of the movement and the walking and everything with Cox, it still looks Robert Pattinson's face. There's just no way around it, and it's not like a problem. Like I'm fine, and I actually like Pattinson's acting. It's not him though. But it's just throwing me because I look at him and go, man, this is my favorite Robert Pattinson role. Oh shit, it's not him. You just have to remind yourself.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
it's the performances are really good, and I don't know. I may devote an entire bonus content to talking about the writing in the prologue. But it's some of the best writing I've seen in video games in a long time. I mean, when you consider that prologue is between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on how long you want to run around and do what you need to do in that area. And they teach you the world, they teach you the characters, they teach you the rules of the universe, they teach you about the magic system, they teach you about all these mechanics. They set up the complicated situation that's going on. What are expeditions? What is the paintress? What is this? And still manage to get you to care enough about the characters that when you see events unfold, you care. They do that in 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane how much they achieve with so little time.
Fully agree. I've never seen a prologue or tutorial area that felt so fleshed out. Ever.
Yeah.
I think ever. I can't think of another one. You know what? The only one that comes close is maybe Titanfall 2 had an excellent lead up in their early stuff. But even that was like less emotional heft on the back end, which you have to earn that shit. That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
And they somehow do it. You're totally right. It's crazy. Game's great. Beau, you're going to end up playing this game. It's very good.
I think so. I think I'm getting FOMO from it. I'm so RPG'd out for my Final Fantasy VII play that I'm like, I can't work up the desire.
I feel you.
But I think at some point, it looks good. John's talking about it glowingly, and this looked pretty awesome.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Well, when you weren't doing that, anything else? Cream in your crop?
You want to hear something stupid?
Yeah.
Let's talk about trying to unlock a Sub-Zero skin in Fortnite before the Star Wars season.
Yeah.
Because that's what I devoted myself to when I wasn't trying to finish Ghost of Tsushima because it was it was funny, or getting into Clair Obscur because that's what I wanted to play. There is a Star Wars season of Fortnite going right now. It's a mini season, so it's not going to go for very long. I didn't know how whole hog they were going with this Star Wars season. All the weapons are Star Wars weapons. I thought, like normally they just throw in some lightsabers and it's like, well, I got some lightsabers is like rare weapons, whatever. All the weapons are blasters of some kind, and there's X-Wings and TIE fighters and lightsabers and all sorts of crazy stuff in this. And yeah, they went whole hog with it. So it's out now, but it was very important that I get the cool Sub-Zero skin before.
And you did,
the battle
and that's
pass.
important.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. It's the Mortal Kombat 3 version. And as we all know, the Mortal Kombat 3 version of any Mortal Kombat character is the best version of that character.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
I challenge you out there to prove me wrong on this fact.
Yeah, I don't know if our dude...
Hey, we have listeners at NetherRealm.
Yeah. And
we know it.
Yeah, we know it. And it's, look, we're not even trying to we're not trying to butter your bread over there, guys. We actually believe this. We think you're the best at this.
You guys have the DLC numbers.
Yeah.
Dive into it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you people do more to try to get Mortal Kombat 3 skins than anything else that they put in.
Because they're so good. They're so
I
freaking
feel
good.
like every time a new Mortal Kombat game comes out and you put in a classic character, people will look at it and go, is it good? Is it bad? And when can I put a Mortal Kombat 3 skin on top of it?
Yeah.
Like that's the three questions you ask yourself. It's like, how's the new Scorpion? Does it look good? Does it look bad? And when are you going to put Mortal Kombat 3 version Scorpion?
Can't argue with that.
And so that's the version that's in Fortnite, because of course it is.
Yeah, of course.
That's the best version.
Yeah.
And it's never been better than that.
I agree. Just take them all out of there. Look, I need a Terminator for my Terminator game. I have the
you get
perfect
their moves
place
as well.
I doubt it, right?
Yeah, they did have Scorpion Spear and Sub-Zero's ice hands.
They're two
Is
things.
something you could use.
Yeah.
They were very overpowered, and it was fun. And you could switch between them. So you could like freeze people as Sub-Zero, then pull them in with Scorpion Spear. It did do the get over here.
Nice.
It was good. It was a good season.
That's great.
Yeah.
They should have had Liu Kang going. Just a bicycle kick. I love that.
They did. They do have a thing where you can make it go toasty. That's in there.
Well, good for those guys. I mean, you know.
Now it's Star Wars, though. We're away from Mortal Kombat. Now it's all Star Wars. You can get Darth Jar Jar, although I don't know where he is. I don't think it's in the game yet. But they are putting Darth Jar Jar into Fortnite.
The meme in. Yeah.
I mean, originally he was in somebody's bad fanfic, but now he's in a video game. So good job.
Now he's in a video game.
Yeah, he's a meme on the prequel memes subreddit.
Yeah.
That's where I first encountered this whole Darth Jar Jar being the supreme Sith force in the Star Wars universe.
It's kind of stupid, but I'm glad it's.
Well, he's the one who gave Palpatine his power. You know, like name a greater evil.
That's think about it. Palpatine was on Naboo, like he's from Naboo. So is Jar Jar.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Yeah, always two there are. The master and an apprentice.
Yep, there you have it. Well, that's what John played. Beau, you got into Sunderfolk, and I cannot wait to hear about freaking Sunderfolk. Tell me it's good.
Thank you for Poppin' Fresh for forcing the issue, picking it up, letting me add it to my library. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we can now answer questions because it always felt like
3 hosts on the show. Anyway, keep going.
Well, you guys got something else, I think. I don't know.
I don't remember either.
But actually, this is a fair point. You don't need a copy of this. We don't need 3 copies of this.
So we can just play
Although you still might want your own copy, but let's explain what this is, okay? So, Sunderfolk is a couch co-op for up to 1 to 4 players video game where you use your phone as a controller. And it's tactical RPG light combat. So we had some questions about, like, how does multiplayer work? Do we have to use the phone? Do we all need to have a client if we're playing online? So I have answers to all those questions. What this game essentially is a board game that you play on your TV and use your phone as a controller.
Okay.
So can you use your 8-bit do to control stuff? No. Can you use your mouse and keyboard to control stuff? No. You will use your phone.
Even as the master of the game, you use your phone.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything is controlled via phone. There was no non-phone option. Now, I was able to use my mouse to navigate menus and set up the game, and in the middle of the game to adjust graphics or quit the game.
Right.
But everything is controlled via your phone, via telephone.
All right.
I like calling it telephone.
Yeah, sure. The telephone.
Yeah.
The telephone device.
the portable telephone device.
Mm-hmm.
You got to use your smartphone, guys. So,
which is, the assumption is none of you. There's nobody
playing with your mouse and keyboard.
There's nobody out there using flip phones anymore. You're all using smartphones now. So get on board. Yeah.
You got to use a smartphone. If you don't happen not to have a smartphone, you won't be able to use this product.
Damn.
And there are some people out there who do use those.
Yeah.
So that's question 1 answered. What is this game? How does it play? Can you use a controller or keyboard? No, you may not.
Yeah.
Secondly, what happens, if you're not all on the couch together, right? So the default pitch when you see the marketing is like 4 people sitting on the couch, each with their phones playing couch co-op. And you only need 1 copy of the game for that. It's pretty clear. That's how couch co-op works in all couch co-op games, and no different here. I'll get into how other things work in regard to that later. But what if we're online? What if John, Scott, and Beau, and let's just throw Crofton in and throw him a bone and be nice to him. What we include him in our little play session. Do we all have to have a copy of Sunderfolk? No. In fact, not only do we not all have to have a copy, it would be a bad idea because there's no lobby. There's no logging in or online play in that way at all. 1 person plays the game, launches it, and 1 person sees it. Meaning, if other people want to see the game, you got to stream it like a Jackbox game over Discord.
Sure.
There's no logging in. There's no lobby.
Right.
So it's only 1 client. Okay. All right. So if we all want to play together, I've got to stream it. Let's say I'm running the client. I got to stream it to you guys over Discord or some other means in order to share the screen. Hopefully the quality is good. We've got good internet and stuff.
Yeah.
So the last question then is like, how does that all work? QR code. So if we were playing online together, I'd show you the QR code. You'd open your Sunderfolk app on your phone and scan it. And that process, pretty seamless. It's just you scan it, boom, you're in the lobby. The game you're connected, which is kind of nice. No need for username or password. Don't got to make a Dreamhaven account to play. Pretty just like click phone on, good, you're good to go. And you're in. So the two ways you're going to play this is you're all going to be in the same physical space, house, on a couch or at a table or some sort of setup. And you're going to log in, scan the QR code on the TV on your phone. Each got a controller, one copy of the game. You go, or if you're playing online, someone's going to stream it and play to the other people. Can you play solo? Yep, you can play solo as well, up to one character or four characters. The game scales its difficulty on number of players. So there's more enemies if there are more players. And there are 4 modes of difficulty, so you can play the game on an easier mode, and I think if you play through it, then you can play it on more challenging settings. But that's essentially how the multiplayer works.
There are 4 of you, is that right?
Sense.
It's a maximum of 4 or more people?
Maximum 4.
Okay.
Max 4.
Okay.
1 to 4 players. And you can even play 2 players, and 2 of those players could control 2 characters.
All right.
So, there's a lot of flexibility there. But I have to say, the app experience is like A+. Like for the phone app, how it works, like getting logged in and setting it up, flawless. Like no muss, no fuss, had 0 problems.
Yeah.
Easy to understand.
That stuff's
Scan
gotten
the QR
really
code,
good.
You're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackbox, similar experience. They're very good at this these days. There's a lot of cool tech behind all that. So, yeah.
So what you're essentially looking at as a game product here is this is like basically video game Gloomhaven or any one of those D&D light that's more based on tactical stuff. But it's all on the TV. Yeah. And I know there's a Gloomhaven game, but this is Dreamhaven style. I'd say it's less like Euro style board game with like sort of weird movement. It's very like, you use a move. Every ability you have has a movement, an attack, and maybe some special stuff. Like there are 5 classes. There's the barbarian bear. There's the otter rogue, which John would really appreciate. Very rogue. Like they do very good on the class identity. Like there's a rogue. There's a bard. There's a weird squirrely bard. I think I like the bard. Has almost a Lucio vibe to him in a weird way. Like just the way he sort of does the music. You can jump and blast music in different directions. You've got an arcanist, Crow, who does arcane magic and teleportation, and you've got a pyromancer. I didn't play a lizard pyromancer as the base. Oh, and there's also a goat ranger, which I didn't try.
Oh, a goat ranger. I'm sorry. You've been burying the lead this whole time because I want to be a goat ranger.
I think it's a goat. Maybe it's a deer. I didn't play it. Or gazelle ranger. I think more a gazelle ranger, actually, not a goat.
I'm down to clown with that. That sounds great.
I'm not sure, but essentially what the game is a series of tactical missions, right? So I played through the prologue. The prologue has 3 missions, and you got to complete the mission objectives, and the map is done. And you do that all together. And what's interesting is there's no initiative order. When it's the friendly team's turn, whoever acts first, like whoever literally does something first will go first, or you do the social gaming thing and people decide, hey, who's going to go first? There's no dice rolling or whatever. You decide who's going to go first. And everyone takes their turn, and then the enemy takes their turn. Yeah. The moves are governed by a set of cards, but it's not really a card deck. It's just to make it easy so you can swipe on your phone the different moves you have, which is always like a movement and an attack. Mm-hmm. You swipe up, and it swipes it onto the screen in a really cool, seamless style. And then you do your inputs. The phone turns into a trackpad for the screen, and it works really well. So when you're moving your mouse around, you're trackpadding on your phone, and it actually works really good. And then you track and then tap twice to confirm, which is also adjustable in the options if you don't want to tap twice. And you input your move. I have to say, the overall package like worked flawlessly. Like it just worked great. So I really liked the way the control scheme worked on the phone. I like the way it translated to the game. The game also is more than just move attacks. There's every class has their own unique class mechanics. Rogues get Shroud, which they get invisible and do extra damage from invisibility. The tank Berserker has a throw ability where I could pick up the goblins in this map you're showing and throw them off into the pit, and you can throw your teammates around.
Nice.
The wizard has teleportation, has to like do mana, and has big blaster spells that move people around, and the bard leaves musical notes all over the battlefield while also having battlefield control. Pretty much the healer class. It's a lot of fun. I had a good time. You see, also I named the bear Johnson, and the rogue is Jaggerlicious, so they're all named
Nice.
after you guys in this session.
Love it.
And there's a lot of fun touches in this game. So one of the things is, the game has a story, and as part of the story has a narrator that's fourth wall breaking in order to help people who are not big gamers enjoy this game quite clearly. And it's not a bad thing. I actually really like it. So it really eases you into how things are a little different and explains things, but it also lets you name things. So for example, there's these like goblins, right? And there's like, oh, there's goblins with bows and arrows. We would probably call them, Goblin Rangers, but what do you want to call them? And you as a group can decide what to name them. So I called them Arrow Bastards. And the game shows Arrow Bastards over them. And like, there's like, here's a shrine. What should you call the shrine? And I'm like, oh, I can't remember what I call it. Something stupid like dog shit or something like that. It's like, oh, it's a dog shit shrine or something. You can kind of just name things, which is like a fun aspect of like the fun you can have with the people there. Like they're thinking about how to get people to like participate creatively with the game. It's awesome. And once you're done your mission, you go to a hub, and everyone can use their phone to talk to the NPCs they want to talk to and get like Hades like hearts in order to build reputation with the various characters. So it's not dominated on the screen by anyone. You kind of like do your little town stuff. There's a post office where you can trade items and gold, a shop. You can take care of all that stuff on your phone. You have character sheets, and you have like different aspects that you can manage on your phone. The big thing is there's like a weapon, armor, and trinket slot for each item or each character, so you can get new items to put in those slots. You have a fate deck, so not only do you make attacks, but you're going to draw a fate card. And as you level up, you can get upgrades to change out your fate deck, which just means you have 4 positives, 4 negatives, and 3 neutrals, I think. And you can get additional bonuses for any of them as you get stronger and stronger. And you manage that part on your phone. It's all very seamlessly, and it's like super well done. I really enjoyed my time playing through the prologue and getting to the hub. And so much so that I didn't really want to spoil things. I would like to save it and play with people in the campaign because it's quite good.
I'm more. I mean, you FOMO'd me on this. I think I don't know. It seems like a game that's Here's what I like about Dreamhaven so far. Dreamhaven's not doing this thing that Blizzard's having to do now, which is like, we need to dominate a market in Asia, so we make an Overwatch MOBA, right? They're just saying, what's a fun thing to make? And what would we want to play in our living room on our screen and make it unique?
It really feels like the Gloom, I haven't played it, but like there's the Gloomhaven board game, which I have played, but there's the video game version, which I didn't try. But it does look like it has that Blizzard thing of let's take this D&D light board game, adapted to video game, and make like the best version of it we can.
Yeah.
And it like, it feels that way, and I'm like, even to the point where I'm like, I like the phone as a controller. It's like very detailed, and like, it's to the point, after I played for a bit, it's to the point where I don't really got to look at it much, right? Like, it just kind of makes sense. When it's my turn, I pick my card, I swipe up, and then I put my inputs in, but I can look at the screen. I mean, we'll see if it feels like everyone's staring at their phone when we're playing in a group together or not, but it really felt intuitive to me. And I liked it, so it's fun.
Seems rad.
And it's not like in-depth, super hardcore story, because it seems to be sensitive to the fact that you're probably going to be paying half attention. If you're hanging out with friends, you're probably just chatting a bit too with them, right? And stuff. So you're paying like kind of half attention, maybe.
Sure.
So it's not super like engrossing. Like, oh, what did I just miss? I missed the cinematic and didn't know why such and so.
Well, it's perfect for
like
Crofton. He's never paying attention, so Crofton's right dead on for this. That'd be great.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
I want to play it. I definitely am into it. They didn't do a demo for this, did they? Or did they? Is there...
I think there's probably some demos. I think even Matt Mercer was doing one at one point with some other creatives. There's a couple of VODs out there that probably demonstrate how it works. I just found that it was not really clear where the rails were on how to play or engage with this. But now I understand it a little bit better. It really is. It's not like some unique new video game experience that requires phones. It really is a video board game that use your phone as the controllers for. And that's okay. It's great. Like I like what it is, but it's just helpful to know I don't need 4 copies for everyone to play, even online. Like it's a Jackbox game, but like a D&D game or a D&D light style game.
Well, some of the most multiplayer fun I ever have is in Jackbox, and I would be happy to have other genres represented. Kinds of games.
You have, and it's light enough where you could entice people who aren't normally, you don't have to be like, know what strength, charisma, intelligence does and explain D&D rules to them. It's all, there's your hit points. Here's your move. Your move means you do a move, and then you hit somebody for some points, and then maybe another little effect. It's very kind of basic, but you can see as the game progresses, I can see the systems are in place for you to meaningfully build out your character in a fun way.
Sure. So, that's awesome. I'm going to sneeze now.
I like it. Big thumbs up for me. I really think what they made here is phenomenal.
That was good timing because I needed to sneeze and you had more to say, and that's perfect. Well done.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's Sunderfolk.
There you go. Sunderfolk available now. Steam, consoles, everything. Get it.
Yeah.
What else you get up to?
Next up, not too much. Like that was the big new thing that I sunk my teeth into. I was very excited to see V Rising had a 1.1 patch where they added a bunch of new content. But I'm going to bitch a little bit here because I had a save file for my single player, which I had done pretty much everything, beat Dracula, and had all my stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not compatible with the update.
Oh.
So I got to start from the beginning.
After 1.0, they did that after a 1.0. That's crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very good.
Guys.
And it's not unheard of for like these games in early access, but it kind of sucked that a 1.1 was like that.
Yeah.
I was a little... Now, there's ways where I could set the server up to like make things go faster, but I don't feel like building... I was just like, okay, I wanted to log in with my character and check out new stuff, so I'm just... I was excited, and then I had my parade rained on, and I'm here to report that kind of sucked. But if you're really into V Rising and happy to hear this new content for it, then there you go.
There you go.
PSA.
Today's your day. Awesome. What else? So you play more Magic.
What else?
Yeah.
I've been like, I got bit real hard with the Magic bug, and so I've been playing Standard now. And, there's not much to say unless you guys want to talk about, the state of Standard or in Arena and what ladder's like. But I just been bit really hard with the bug. I think, like we talked about with the esports stuff, it was like, I'm like, it's more than just like playing. I'm like watching, content relating to Magic, just card evaluations, learning what the meta is. That whole, like, when you're into an esport or when you're looking at competitive, it kind of like becomes engrossing in a big way. And it's just a bug that's like, I got to ride it out. Like, I'm into it. So I think I'm coming to a tail end. I finished Diamond or Platinum, whatever the 4th tier is on the ranked ladder, which I was impressed I climbed as high as I did. Like, honestly, for someone who was like, I'm not going to be playing this mode. It kind of felt good to like actually grind up pretty well. With a non-meta deck, I might add. For those interested, it's a Jeskai Monk deck. Featuring like an old Narset card and Chico. And a whole bunch of stuff. People were asking for my deck list when I was streaming it, so I'm like, I think maybe I have something interesting that I brewed up myself. But kind of cool. I've been playing that in ranked, and it's fun. These are all the cards I got from all the drafting I did, so now I'm like using them in constructed. So I've just spent a lot of time. I've spent quite a bit of time playing Magic the Gathering this week.
You could say Beau's meta is Mo better. How about that? You like that?
And I might want to take. Yeah, you could say my.
Yeah, I could say all that. Sure.
Yeah. And it's kind of in preparation. I am kind of really stoked for the Final Fantasy set, which is funny because you wouldn't, I play Final Fantasy, but I think of John when I think of the Final Fantasy guy, like our guy who. There was we need our best guy on this Final Fantasy case. It's going to be John.
It's not going to be me. He's your guy.
I'm on it.
And so it's just kind of funny to be in a position where I'm just like, oh man, Magic the Gathering X Final Fantasy. I'm all over it.
Yeah, and look at you watching a little politics up in the corner. Get that guy up there telling you what's what.
So that was election day. So that's Carney.
Sure.
Giving a speech. Yeah.
I like that guy. Seems all right.
I threw it up. The Canadians were hanging out and watching the election while I played Magic that day on that stream.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And I've been playing lots of Magic. There you go. The end.
That story ends thusly. I played a lot of it.
Yeah, it was an okay story, I guess. And of course, I played some StarCraft 2 co-op Commanders as usual, and some Heroes of the Storm again, and Valheim. Those are all games in my rotation.
Yeah, you got a good rotation going right now. Are they got all the guys playing Valheim still, or just you?
I've taken a back seat. Like I've played a ton on my own, and there's been some voiced concern that if I'm just playing on my own, like you're progressing ahead of people. And it's kind of weird because that's how these games, I find these games are supposed to be like that, but I have more time to play, clearly. So I'm just pumping the brakes on it. We're going to build a village.
Yeah. It takes a village, so you should build one.
We're starting
I
to
almost
plan
said
on
it. I almost said the exact same thing.
I mean, you can't
build a village on my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Takes a village to build a village, to have a village, to take a village. That's how
I just really like Valheim. I think I just get endless satisfaction out of the game. It's hard to put my finger on.
Yeah. Well, there
exactly why, but it's really good.
Excellent. Plenty going on in our little gamer hearts. Let's get on to now some feedback from you guys. We got some good stuff today. We're going to start.
That's a good question.
With this one. This is from Indigo, and he texted the following. Hi. I'm going to do voicemails first. Why have I got this backwards? This is a voicemail. This came to us at 10hams.com from Kareem or Karim. I'm not sure how you say it. He says the following. It's a request about that Shadowdark business that John got. And I now present you with his 10-second request. Here you go.
Hi, Kareem here. So, did someone say Patreon exclusive Shadowdark campaign with all the There Will Be Dungeons people? No? Well, you should think about it. That's all. Bye. Love you.
I mean, John, you've messed with it long enough to probably make a call on whether you think it'd be fun for a one-off or something, right?
I absolutely think it would be fun. I miss There Will Be Dungeons as much, if not maybe more, than all the people that are constantly saying, where is There Will Be Dungeons? So I'm all for it. I'll say the same thing I said in the YouTube comments when someone asked about it. I think all parties involved would be interested.
Yep.
It's not, it doesn't exist for lack of desire.
Yep.
It doesn't exist for lack of ability.
Yep.
So if we can figure out how to make it work, we absolutely will.
Yep. Mine's on its way, by the way. You talked me into it. I got the book. So.
Oh, yeah? You got it?
Yep,
Awesome.
on its way. Awesome. The art alone is enough for me to justify
Scott
it.
DM'd Shadowdark.
Oh, hell. I don't know about that. Be a lot of pooping in things. I don't think that'll happen.
Did you say there'd be a lot of poop in that thing?
In things. That would be my story. I would have you pooping in things. Because
you open the treasure chest. What's in there? You roll a dice.
Poop.
It's poop.
It's poop.
Every room we go into, roll a Constitution check, please.
Yeah.
What for?
Yeah.
See if you have to poop. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like to bring the fecal to the people. Is what
if you don't have enhanced fart resistance,
what are you going to do?
1d4 damage.
You start to get the rumble gut.
Yep. Custom spell.
You gotta, within the next 2 rooms, you better find a container of some kind.
Yep.
That's all.
I'm gonna if Scott DMs, I'm gonna metagame and make someone who's like immune to.
Shit. That's a bad idea. We also got a phone call from a very familiar voice. I'll just play it. This is a message. Let's say it's from somebody who's been around for a long time, who's kind of Lord of the Forest in some ways. Here you go.
Is this thing on? Yes. Good day, gentlemen. Hello, Scott, John, Beau. I very much hope this reaches you well. Speaking into a small screen in my hand wasn't on my Faerun bingo card, but as Gale's on a binge, he's eaten the last of the notes I normally ask the pigeons to carry over, so this will have to do. I've been a long-time listener to Frog Pants podcasts, a name very dear to mine and my friend Keith's heart. He's a frog who found a tiny suit of armor in Daggerford and hasn't walked on four legs since. He found you guys when he was looking for some new slacks, so yes, I've ever since FilmSack did the one about Krull way back in 09. I say way back. I'm 350 this year. Karlach obviously wants to throw a party, so I guess that's happening. All right, it looks like Will's nicked himself trying to whittle ducks. I was showing him earlier, and for one who's extremely adept with a sword, he's remarkably shit with a paring knife. Yes, that's going to need more than a bandage. Right, farewell for now, my friends.
Halsin himself calling the show.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Pretty
that filled me
great.
with such joy too.
Yeah.
I don't know how much was Halsin.
Him and
the
Dave
Slack
versus
stories
Dave.
seem kind of specific, but was it Halsin buying slacks?
I don't know.
Or Dave?
I don't know. All I know is all hail Dave.
Oh, for his frog friend. He speaks to animals, so he needed to find frog pants for a frog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Like if you'd cast speak with animals a little more often, you'd learn all sorts of things.
Yep.
All sorts of needs in the wildlife.
Yeah.
that go on.
Turns out that forest has a few surprises around every corner.
I appreciate how layered even the ad lib of these voice actors for Baldur's Gate 3 get, because he's just like, Will for the Blade of Frontiers, surprisingly shit with a knife. can't whittle ducks.
I pictured it. He's just sitting there trying to whittle ducks.
Yeah.
You can fight you can fight all day long, but can't carve a duck.
I think these guys do
discipline.
so many hours and hours and hours that they record this with each other, without each other, redoing lines later for final production, all that stuff. I think they can probably drop into these characterizations and relationships like that.
It really is kind of like a new thing. Whenever I was like reading acting books and stuff, it was like, practical aesthetics. You just have to do your as ifs, like whatever. All that method mumbo jumbo's dumb. And then method acting's like, you must be the person 24/7. Get your Daniel Day-Lewis on. And then you have this like weird nether realm or in between world of like the TTRPG where you should the character is real to some extent. Like if you're role play, like when you play TTRPG and we have memories, like Nash is a real person to me. Stanley's a real person to me. Like they never existed and they were only inferred by your performances, but they like exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not method, but you're not doing Nash has to put his hand in a giant dead Cyclops urethra. What's this like in my real life so I can perform this role? You're just like, whatever. You're just having fun with it. But like that really happened. And if anyone was to ever perform Nash, you'd have to like tell them, he stuck his hand in a Cyclops' urethra once.
Yeah.
Got a necklace of fireballs. It's an important part of his development.
It's a huge part of my living.
And so you have these actors in Baldur's Gate 3 who are like, I don't know what their training or discipline has brought them to this point, but like, they can drop into these characters. They're not doing practical aesthetics. It's not method. It's like this thing where it's like, I don't even know if we have a word for it.
Maybe they do.
I mean? Where
they might.
And like the Critical Role people are doing it too, right? Like they inhabit these characters. They're clearly performing them because they're voice performer and the actual actors. But they're again not channeling either of these schools of philosophy, that Harry Winkler might teach him Barry.
Did you call him Harry Winkler?
Harry Winkler, Henry.
Hank Winkler, what's his name? I forget.
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler.
Winkler.
No,
Wrinkler.
Winkler, not Wrinkler.
Wrinkler. Hank Wrinkler.
Excuse me. Henry Winkler.
Who is this Hank Wrinkler guy? I want to know more.
You guys know who I'm talking about.
For those at home that don't know it, go ahead. Sorry.
Chat room knows that was Halsin. I'm not seeing. I want to see more fanfare.
Oh no, that was Dave Jones as Hal. That's actual actor for Halsin. That's not some fan faking it. That's this guy right here. It's he listens to the show. He's usually in here live actually, but only on Thursday. So we're probably throwing him off by being on a Friday today. But that was him. That was a real deal. He's a listener. We got a few of them.
It's also so freaky too because like I played Baldur's Gate during the horny years, and so like everyone hit on me, incling Halsin. So it's always
the
like,
horny years. That's fantastic.
The horny years.
Are the horny years over? Because
yeah, they calmed them all down.
Yeah,
I think
the actors might have a different opinion on that as to whether the horny years have died down or not.
Yeah. There you have it.
I mean, in the game. I've
seen some things on Twitter.
Okay. I mean, in the game. I mean, in game. I don't mean in whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well done.
Horny years. Though. So funny.
Thank you, Dave.
Just after saying like Hank Wrinkler, like because he was in the horny years, right?
Yeah, Hank Wrinkler.
In the horny years.
Nothing says
horny days.
Nothing says horny than a guy named Wrinkler. You know.
That was an awesome call, though. Thank you.
Oh,
yeah, it was
so
an awesome call. Yeah.
It instantly made me want to play Baldur's Gate again.
Same.
Thank you for calling it and doing
I just
that.
pictured it, though.
Week.
Yeah.
Like, I was immediately picturing, Will over there trying to whittle ducks, and now I'm sad the scene doesn't exist in the game. But that's what mods are for, so put it in the game.
That's right. Put it in there, Larian. Don't be so scary and put it in. All right, check this out. We got text also. Same line, 10hams.com. Couple of quick ones. We'll just rip through these. Indigo wrote in, says, "Hi, my name is Indigo, and I've been watching your video with my dad, and we love your show. And John rage quit about Nintendo." I think
what?
I don't know what that means at the end, but I think it's good.
Yeah, I don't think you'd quit Nintendo so much as ranted about them. And it sounds like a younger person, someone who's, watching with their dad or whatever. We love that. Young gamers coming up through the ranks. A dad showing them the ropes, giving them the best podcast in the world for video games. And then talking about John rage quitting Nintendo is an amazing sentence. It's real good.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Yep. I get worried when I hear kids are listening to this show.
Do you?
Whatever.
Well, they cover their ears when you say stuff about.
Well, sometimes
Beau's talking, earmuffs.
Yep. Oh, Beau's on. Something about a lake and a poo and somebody.
Sometimes I forget. I don't have kids, and I don't have. It's not. I'm not complaining. All right, this isn't me griping or anything like that. But it is a weird world. Everyone my age I know has kids, so they've learned to police their voice.
It's true.
I don't have to do that.
Nope.
So, there'll be a kid with an earshot and it'll be like F-bomb city and their like faces are going and I'll be the one that it's like, why do I gotta censor what I say? And then I'm like, okay.
It's been well documented that my son swears at least as badly as I do.
Yeah, it comes up.
But
he's trying.
He's
the point
got
is
it.
You're trying and you don't
got
need a
it
friend
under
around.
control, though.
Yeah.
He told me the other day, he was sitting, he goes, "Ow." And I went, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "I bit my tongue." And I went, "Oh, you bit your tongue?" And he goes, "Yeah, I can't say words." And I said, "What can't you say?" And he goes, "I can't say no words."
Oh.
And I said, "What no words?" And he goes, "Like bullshit."
I love that. And Beau, in your case, it's just like, Billy, don't make eye contact with the hairy hippie man. They'll just, that's all.
Honestly, if I did have kids, that would be one aspect that I have a problem with.
What? Just that you're a hairy hippie man?
No, swearing.
Oh.
Swearing. Yeah.
Well, bullshit is hard to say when you've bitten your tongue. Your son's right.
It is, although he said it just fine.
He said it just fine. Yeah. It's almost like he's clever and he found a clever way to say it.
It's almost like he's John's kid.
Engineering an interaction that's like, I can't say this word.
He had such a big grin on his face when he said it too. I was like, "What words can't you say?" And I was like, "Hey, like bullshit."
Bullshit.
He savored the expressing of that
as
word.
well he should. I think that's great. Patrick wrote in, not our Patrick, different Patrick, not the French Patrick, who is funny. He's funny. Okay, everybody calm down. He's funny.
So many letters already.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be bad. Anyway, he says, "Hey, Core Crew, I heard today's show and you mentioned that both Blueprints and Beau have really been getting into MTG. Did you know?
What's going on? What?
We mentioned blueprints,
Hold on,
comma.
you said it in a weird way. Heard today's show. You mentioned that both blueprints. No, it is written weird.
Yeah.
No, you know what, Scott? I take it back. It was the way it was written.
Yeah, it needs a comma after Prince, and it would have helped it. But anyway, he means we mentioned both blueprints and that Beau, that Beau had really been getting into MTG. Did you know that the creator of Blueprints has been using ad revenue from his MTG website, Mythic Spoiler, to help fund the development of the game? It's a cool little connection since Mythic Spoiler is a go-to site for the MTG community when new sets are previewed. So Blueprints and Magic the Gathering, very direct connection there.
I appreciate that you wrote it and told me this, because chances are I wouldn't have known it. However, I did know that because I've been listening to Limited Resources, and Louis Scott Vargas told the story at the end of the most recent episode.
His name is Louis Sart Vargas? What is it?
Louis Scott Vargas.
Oh.
Scott isn't like Scott.
I love that Scott was the word that confused you in that sentence.
Louis Scott Vargas. He's a Magic Hall of Famer.
I've never heard of him.
For short. He's known as LSV. Anyways, he told this story at the end of the last episode of Limited Resources.
Oh.
Yes, I'm a Limited Resources enjoyer, Magic player. So
Yeah.
if you haven't heard it, that's a great podcast. That's on episode 800, by the way.
Jeez.
About playing draft format limited, which I've listened to the first episode. You know, when you're like, I've listened to episode 1 of TMS, I've listened to episode 1 of Limited Resources, I've listened to episode 1 of Core. I think I was there.
You were there. Yeah.
Yeah,
you were there.
But you know, these numbers get pretty big. Anyways, I did, but I do appreciate. Please don't not write in. It's just as luck would have it. I found out about that. They've been working on the game, I think, for a decade.
Yeah, it's a long time coming.
Like, it's like you're not looking at somebody trying to cash in on something. It's like, this is Blueprints, which I know, John, you've been really enjoying. I haven't gotten into it yet. Is like someone's lifelong like work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have taken that with me on my Steam Deck, so I may have.
Yeah, that
I didn't
would've
play
probably
anything.
worked just fine.
It sat in my bag and drained battery. I played it not at all. I'm so embarrassed. I even brought an Ambernick. I'm like, well, if I'm out and about, I got a little thin thing I can put in my pocket, and that just got sweaty and never got used. So don't take stuff
That's
on
what I
events.
say about my little thing every time. All the
got
time.
sweaty and never got used. Oh, tell that kid to close his ears. We just talked about a sweaty John penis.
No, that was an over the head joke till you.
No, I brought it home. Oops. Oops. All right.
There's that sweet spot where you don't quite say the adult word.
Indeed.
Well,
we avoided it, but we brought it back. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to bring back. I'm going to bring back interest in you guys sending in more stuff. We love hearing from you. Please keep stuff coming. Thank you both, Indigo and Patrick, and Kareem and Halsin, a.k.a. Dave Jones, for your awesome stuff to this week. 10hams.com is the place to do it. We have a bunch more coming after the show. Long form ones that were either too long or, not really show content type questions or comments. We want to make sure to try to include as much of that stuff in the show as we can. So I got a bunch coming after we're done here with a little bit of business at the end of the show. So stick around. You might hear yours or somebody else's that tweaks your interest. Reminder that we are supported by you and only you at at patreon.com/core show, where you can find our Patreon. And we have brand new folks this week, including Vampire Eyes, Jesse Raposa, Oblivious Geek, and Colby Preston. Brand new patrons since we last spoke. Oh, man.
Vampire Eyes.
I know, right? Don't look in them or else... Well, I don't know what a vampire does with their eyes. Oh, they
seduced. You get seduced.
They glamour you.
Glamour, right. I forgot about that. That's what that game's been. That Expedition 33's got Edward glamoring us the entire time. Anyway, fun reference for you kids at home. Anyway, be like Vampire Eyes, Jesse, Oblivious Geek, and Colby Preston. And join us today at patreon.com/core show, where you will get host specials on the month. You will get monthly art in the mail from me. You'll get pre-show content every week and no commercials or ads of any kind ever. That's reason enough to join over at patreon.com/core show. Everything else can be found at frogpants.com/core, except for Grandma catching us up on what we played today. In case you missed it, Grandma, take it away.
Well, I know you've already forgotten about the games they talked about, so here's what they was. Ghost of Tsushima, it was talked about for the final time until Scott beats it in another 4 years. Then we'll talk about it again.
Shit.
Scott also played Virtua Cop. Good for him.
Yeah.
He blamed his gun, so he's doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Fortnite, Sunderfolk, V-Rising, Magic the Gathering. That's a card game. You're not going to find that on Steam. Well, you will, but it's not what he played. StarCraft 2, Heroes of the Storm, and Valheim.
Oh my gosh, what a list. What a wild compilation of fine video game content. If you want more of this and you want to be here live, we do this at 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Thursdays. Today was different because of the trip, but next week we are back to the norms. That's going to do it for us. For me, for Beau, for John. We see you next time.
Once upon a time, there was a hero named you. Find the next step of your quest at frogpants.com.
Somebody help me!
Sorry.